Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Joe Hunk, letting you know there will be an Olympic spoiler coming up in about 45 seconds. The Titans have placed offensive lineman Shadiq Charles on the team's reserved retired list. That news broke yesterday afternoon during 3HL. The Colts have announced that Josh Downs suffered a high ankle sprain during practice today. They believe that he is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Downs had over 700 yards receiving last year and was the Colts' number 2 wide receiver. And yes, Team USA women's basketball going on right now against Nigeria in the quarterfinals of the Olympics. And USA is currently up by 6. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It is cloudy out there, but if your feet hit the ground today, which I assume they did, or you wouldn't be listening to us, it is a beautiful day. Dawn Davenport on assignment. She is in Bristol.
What up, Babsy?
Learning about social media and texting the crap out of out of that to us. And so we're learning through her.
We are.
And you guys will benefit.
And it is a beautiful day, especially if you had to be outside because it is hot, baby, but it's no sun in sight.
And breezy.
Yes. Great day for practice.
Yep. Slay Dog is here.
I'm in the building. Better be ready.
It's funny how these players hear about stuff that goes on this radio station. So,
somebody listen.
Brownlee Jr., who's making a lot of noise at slot corner as a rookie out of Louisville. Rhett Bryan talked to him today, and I went over there and listened to that conversation. That kid's going to be a stud, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But Rhett Bryan nicknamed him Bleach because he's an irritant.
And
bleach irritates you if it gets on your skin or whatever. And so he asked him if he had heard that, and Brownlee said, yeah, I had. He goes, I'm cool. He goes, Rhett said, I just want you to know it comes from a positive place. And Brownlee said, yeah, I was cool with it once I figured out what it meant.
Yeah. The meaning of it, yep.
He said, so I dig it. We've got tons to talk about with regard to Titans training camp, and we will get that done throughout the course of today's show. We will invite you in right now if you want in, 615-737-1045. You want to talk some NFL football. You want to talk about Michigan, Jim Harbaugh. Well, they threw the hammer at a guy that no longer works in their sport.
Yeah. That really meant something to Harbaugh, NCAA. Good job. Way to get him on the back end. He ain't even going to be back there. He don't be coming through the back of that house or back of that alley again. You ain't got to worry about that.
Nope. So we will talk about that. What else is on my docket? So the Colts, the injuries starting to happen.
Injuries piling up.
Rondell Moore, Atlanta Falcons, left practice today with an air cast on his leg.
Yeah, that's tough. Anytime the air cast come out, that's definitely not what you want.
For sure. Air casts and defibrillators. Bad.
Yes. Absolutely.
Colts wide receiver Josh Downs could miss 4 to 6 weeks, Hunk said. I saw a month with a high ankle sprain. Those are weird injuries where that thing could drag on a minute.
Yep.
Or he could be back in a few weeks.
And
it's weird.
Yeah, it's nothing you want to play with because the cutting and everything, it's that low ankle sprain when you're cutting. But this right here, just your mobility is tough to get over, man. You can just go straight. Once you start turning and stuff, boy, it gets a little ugly on you. So it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back. They need him, that's for sure. He's a part of something they got.
68 receptions, 771 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And word around the campfire is they were putting a lot of their passing offense through him. I have some Olympic news.
Talk to us.
Do you want to go ahead and do this one?
Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't.
Okay.
We got 3 hours. That's what you would tell me.
Yes, that's true. Grant Holloway running the hurdles. I'll talk about it because it was a preliminary. It was a semifinal. Like, it wasn't the final. This guy's going to win gold, though. Have you seen him run the hurdles?
No.
It looks like his feet don't even come back down to the ground. Like he just runs above them.
Wow.
I mean, almost set an Olympic record during a qualifying heat.
Just gliding through?
Just flying.
What's his name again?
Grant Holloway. You going to pull it up and watch it?
I have to.
Yeah, if you get a chance to watch Grant Holloway in the hurdles, do it. Also, there's a story from Outkick the Coverage. Worms in food in the Olympics.
Wait a minute. Come on, hold on, y'all.
This is how we're going to start the show.
Worms are in food in the Olympics.
I'm just going to read this, all right? This is from Outkick the Coverage. According to British swimmer and Adam Peaty, athletes are finding worms in their food while dining in the Olympic Village. The 29-year-old, who has already won silver in the 100-meter breaststroke, has not held back with his allegations and criticisms about the food quality in Paris. While there have been plenty of reports about the food at the games, or lack thereof, Petey is the first to bring up worms. Quote, I like my fish, and people are finding worms in the fish. It's just not good enough, the standard. We're looking at the best of the best in the world, and we're feeding them not the best, Petey told iNews. The catering isn't good enough for the level of athletes that are expected to perform. We need to give the best we possibly can. Tokyo, food was incredible. Rio, incredible. But this time around, there wasn't enough protein options, long queues, waiting 30 minutes for food because there's no queuing system, and worms in food.
I really don't know what to say.
Like, how...
Worms are in the food.
Where do you
Olympic
start?
athletes.
Number one, how do worms get into food? Number two, how does food get served with worms in it? Like, wouldn't you notice?
When you were cooking it?
And number three, wouldn't the athletes, like, revolt?
Yeah.
It's a weird story, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that wag the finger shame on you situation if you're the one to go and complain and nobody else has complained. So, and then you got people from other countries that are there with you, and they probably like, man, this our first and only time being able to get to the Olympics. We ain't finna complain about this. Maybe this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. That's the problem.
You complain after you win your medal.
Yeah, then you go on a rampage.
You don't want to get removed.
Exactly. Like that's bad, man. That's bad.
So we've got feces in the Seine River. We've got worms in the food in the Olympic Village.
Come on, dog.
What is going on here? They didn't have air conditioning units in the Olympic Village. Remember? Countries were bringing them in, and the United States didn't.
They should have asked me. I would have told them. Don't go over there expecting no AC.
Right. So you're saying that shouldn't even be a story.
No.
Like, people should know that.
That's Europe.
Like the Northeast. You go to the Northeast, there's not air conditioning units.
Yeah. For what?
I mean, unless you're, go to a nice hotel or something.
Yeah. Maybe a couple in the south of.
But in terms of, like, brownstones and stuff like that.
Nope.
So weird.
Put your head in the freezer.
Speaking of food, here's another one. NFL.
This got worms?
No, this is interesting. Arizona Cardinals have a new dish for their football games at the stadium. Cotton candy burrito. So here's what they do. It's ice cream and candy. Somebody said Fruit Loops and like Fruity Pebbles. Also involved. And then they put it like on this cotton candy slab and then roll it up like a burrito.
Oh, they got that. You know what the name of that is?
What?
Diabetic coma. You on your way. Who's eating that? I want to see somebody eat all of that.
Like, the shell of the burrito is cotton candy. And it's like fat too.
That's for all kids. Like, if you over 17 or 18 years old and you eat that, your teeth gonna hurt. I mean, like hurt, like in pain. The sugar rush and the crash after that, good gosh.
Yeah, what parent's gonna allow that?
Now, listen, I'll let my kid eat it one time. I guarantee they can't finish it. I guarantee they can finish it. It's gonna be a bet. If you can't finish it, you eating vegetables for a week. Only vegetables. Like, no protein, you're gonna be like the Olympics. Not enough protein. You might get some worms.
So I got to training camp a little bit late today. Had a nail in my tire, so I had to go get that taken care of on the way. Yeah, when you look down and like your reading on the dash is 20 PSI,
That is the worst.
that thing's ready to pop.
Yep.
So had to take a little detour. But I get there, and the first thing I see is T-Sweat get up the field, beat a double team, and then get the running back, popped in the backfield.
T-Sweat is a monster.
He is a problem.
He's a monster. He's a monster. And what you're also being able to see is that other monster activated as well, Big Jeff.
Yes.
They're feeding off each other. Like, I understand, man, when we talk about losing Danico and, man, everybody was up in arms and like, man, we lost one of our best guys. How we let that? Man, I'm not saying he's there yet, but the production, I don't expect that production would combine with him and Big Jeff to fall off. Now, it may look different. It may not be 10 and a half, 11 and a half sacks for T-Sweat or nothing like that. But the production that he's going to have for everybody else to eat off of, Lord.
He's going to have some plays, too, where he's in the backfield. The running back gets, just demolished.
I can see some of those. If you think back, if your college football, Jadeveon Clowney, when he was coming out, who were they playing? Was it Auburn when he made that big hit, or was it LSU?
No, Michigan.
When he clocked him. Hey, man, I can see at least T-Sweat doing that at least 3 times this year in the NFL game.
Like right as the running back gets his first couple of moves are so quick.
So quick.
And he's so big that if he gets you off balance, you're done. Yeah. It's like wrestling, basically. Yeah.
And it's going to be one of them situations when you first see him, you're going to be like, he can't move that quick. He going to have something for him. And he got some hand movement.
So Will Levis addressed the media at the podium afterward. He's funny, man. He takes his shoes off immediately and walks around barefoot on the field. So he's at the podium, and he said that he's working on stepping up in the pocket properly. He said, but it's tough to do that against the Titans D. He said they get so much inside push with Big Jeff and Sweat. Levis said they're giving us great looks.
Cut 6.
Exactly.
Zeph said cut 6. Let's go to Will Levis talking about that right here.
Do it, Zeph.
A lot. You hear, especially earlier in my career, I had a habit in college, of like most guys, they don't want to move into the pocket and move into pressure, and they feel like they're most safe, back there and being able to look up and just bounce back around. We got such a great inside push from our D-line with Sweat and Jeff. There's been certain times where in most pockets you're comfortably able to move up, just being able to feel that inside push and knowing when you can't move up that much, and it's more of an in-place reset opposed to an upward. So a few of those times where I'm feeling kind of someone on my chest or not really being able to finish my throws, like I know that's because I might have just moved up a little too far in the pocket, and I'm going to be okay with just setting back there a little bit. So that's a situational thing. It depends on what team you're playing, the kind of defensive front, their strengths and weaknesses. But Jeff and Sweat have been giving us great looks, and they're going to win sometimes, and I got to understand that and feel that and be able to just set back in that pocket and be able to deliver the ball well.
Along with him, playing off of him, man, the looks that you're going to get, whether you need to be moving in the pocket, staying in the pocket, believing in your O-line. The O-line's fighting. The O-line is fighting. I will give them that, man. Cushenberry, right there with it. Big Pete, right there with it. I like what I'm seeing out of them, man. I like what I see out of them. Still got to show up their right side, but those guys you can see can handle individual matchups.
We'll talk more about what we saw today at Titans training camp with Coach Dave McGinnis next. Coach Matt coming up for his weekly visit. Stay tuned. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
The Big Three, the world's greatest basketball tournament of the summer, is back, and it's coming in hot right here in Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, Sunday, August 11th, for the semifinals. See which teams earn the right to battle for the championship. That'll be the week after in Boston. Ice Cube, that's who's bringing it to you. Yay, yay! Big Three, professional 3-on-3 basketball, and some of the biggest stars and most competitive athletes to the game, bringing it to you front and center. Hall of Fame coaches on hand, just like Gary Payton, Lisa Leslie, Dr. J will be in the building. Join Ice Cube and legendary Big Three Commissioner Clyde the Glide Drexler at Bridgestone this Sunday at noon for the battle of the semifinals to go to the chip. Bring your crew, bring the fam, all the hoop heads. It's a day packed of dunks, crossovers, fantastic finishes. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets now at big3.com/tickets. You don't want to miss this energy and this great competition. Grab your tickets at big3.com/tickets.
I want to tell you about Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. And when you're thinking about landscape lighting, here's the deal. Whether you have a $20 million property in house or a $20,000 property in house, it doesn't matter. Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville can help you out. And they do customized lighting design for any property or landscape. The consultant will come in, use the lighting principles of safety, security, usability, and aesthetics, and you will get this cohesive design. All systems designed with maybe expansion in mind for future cost savings, which is exactly what we did in our backyard. I called my buddy Bob Lyons over at Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. He came out, did all of our lighting around our pool area, and then once we got a new deck, we just added some more lighting. And maybe that's what you're thinking. Okay, I can't afford everything I want to do yet, but that's okay. Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville can come out and get you initially set up, and then you can just add to it. They've been around for over 38 years, and they are the best. Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Nashville. Reach out to them, outdoorlights.com/Nashville.
3HL 104.5, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you until 6 o'clock. We have the birthday boy. Coach Mack joins us now. Happy birthday, Coach Mack.
Happy birthday, big guy.
Thanks, guys. Hey, really appreciate you guys walking across the field. It's not that I'm being antisocial during these practices, but they've got me mic'd up the whole time. And so I'm basically narrating a position player for the entire practice with a film crew. So anyway, you guys made a point to come across the field. Thank you so much, as did just about everybody with the flagship station. And I'm still trying to answer birthday wishes from around the league and in the city. Got several free dinner invitations, so it's good to have one birthday.
Are you going to do anything special today?
Probably not.
Yeah. I got you.
Coach Mike like things.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. And, hey, Brent, great picture that you took of Ramon and I. Loved it.
I just showed Slay. You guys look great. Absolute legends. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch. You can watch the show live.
Twitch, please.
Twitch, please. Thank you, Slay Dog. The Evan Bay chat is wide open. Christian says, tell Coach Mack I said happy birthday, sending best wishes.
Tell Christian, thank you, and all of our great listeners. You know, I was visiting a little bit, not a little bit, with Bert and Will over there. They kind of stayed and were asking some questions.
Boy, Bert says some things during practice, doesn't he?
One of the things Bert asked me was, Coach Mack, he said, do you ever get the urge to coach again? And I told him straight up, I've had opportunities to go coach every year that I left L.A. I've had opportunities to go with another team, but the situation that I've got now here in Nashville is so unique with the Titans club, first of all, with the flagship station, and then with the city of Nashville. I mean, this is my 16th year being associated here. I don't want to leave here because I've got it too good. And, people can throw a lot of money at you, but a lot of times in life, you need to be really happy where you are. This is a pretty good thing for Coach Mack here.
Yeah, I think I asked you that a couple of weeks ago, too, standing out there. Just because I was thinking about the teaching aspect of everything, because I know that you would probably miss that element of it, but totally understand what you're saying for sure. Coach Mack with us on 3HL. All right, I got out there a little bit late, and the first thing I saw in team drills was T-Sweat go right between two guys and throw a running back. I mean, that guy is a problem. How many times
have the three of us, and I know Dawn's doing her ESPN stuff today, but how many times have we just sat and just talked about, I told you the story of Joe Green and I looking for bears on two legs when we go out. That's it. That's the definition of it. I mean, you're seeing it right there. And the thing about it is, and people think, well, what does that mean? If you don't realize, if you've never been around bears in the wild, they are agile. They can move. I mean, you can't believe how they can move. And it's hard to believe, really, when you watch Big Sweat, and even you watch Big Jeff, how fast they can move that kind of mass. I mean, and the quickness. Yeah. The quickness is what is impressive.
That's right. So him getting upfield, what's one of his best attributes, though, Coach Mack, when you watch him to the naked eye? Like, if we get an opportunity to see him on Saturday, the public, you watch this guy, and what's something that you should look for that automatically separates him but outside of his size? Because that right there is damning enough. That's different.
Well, you got to double team him. You got to double team him because he's quick enough that, I mean, once he drops that blade on that front end loader that he's got, and he starts pushing, if he gets a single person, he's gonna collapse the pocket. Right. The thing that he will do, though, once we start playing games for real, teams are going to have to decide how they're going to handle him up front. He's going to command the double team, and even if they're going to make them slide their tackles, which they can do with motion every now and then, as to where Jeff has to move from the 3 technique, which is outside shade, to the shade technique, which is on the inside part of the guard next to the center. However they do that, whoever is in that shade technique now has not only got size but has movement. They're going to have to double team that guy. So if they have to, whoever is the shade, they're going to have to double team the shade, and that puts, unless they slide the line completely, that puts the 3 technique one-on-one. And that's what you want. And that's what you want to get immediate pressure. One of those guys inside being in a one-on-one situation. You're going to command that every time now. I mean, you're going to, regardless. And we were watching practice the other day, and they were stemming the front and moving the tight end so that sometimes, when I say stem the front, Jeff and Big Sweat had to slide over. In other words, slide, not flip-flop. They had to slide. So one had to be the shade, and one had to be the 3 technique, which is a big thing, with your front, with your 4-man front. Now, who's ever on that shade is going to command the double team, and both of them can be devastating one-on-one.
Yeah.
Coach Quadre Diggs out there already. He met with the media afterward. Obviously, was asked about his guy Jamal Adams, been playing with in Seattle, and if he was a part of him coming here. And he said, "Jamal is my dog. It played a part, but he gave me my space and let me make my own decision." He said it was Denard Wilson was the big reason as to why he chose the Titans. Loves the aggressive style, fits in well with his game, and really thinks he'll thrive in that system.
I love Diggs. I like his resume. I like his game. I had a call today at practice. I had to move back clear up against the fence and turn off my microphone. It was Stephen Tulloch. And Tulloch called me and said, "Mac, I want you to say hello to Diggs for me. He's my guy." He said, "I've got so much respect for him. We're good friends." And then we started talking about, because you know how much I respect Tully and what he did with his career here, and he spoke highly of Diggs. I like Diggs' resume, and you could watch him today. When I was standing back there narrating the practice, he's got a feel for it. I mean, some guys just have a feel for being around the football. When you're talking about playing defensive football, he's got that. I mean, I like that addition. I think it was an ideal addition to what we need for this defense. I'm all in on that move.
So, how do you think it helps Amani Hooker? Does it enable them to do more with him, maybe up closer to the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, Brent, and not only up closer. See, Diggs is a pure post safety.
Yeah,
he's a pure post safety, and there's a lot to that flow and feel of playing a post safety back in the middle. And Amani has always been a guy. Look, when Amani came out of Iowa, Amani was a real movable chess piece. For Coach Parker up there at Iowa. I mean, he was a guy that understood a lot of it because he could do a lot of it. Now, when Amani's in there without a true post safety, well, then sometimes he has to play the post, so he can't do those other things. I think once Denard starts being able to move these guys around with game planning, you're going to see Diggs a lot more in the post, and then Amani doing a lot of those other things that we've seen him do before. This is going to be. You talk about Denard Wilson. Look, defensive players in this league know who Denard is.
Yeah,
they know who he is. And they know who I've had, players and former players call me about him, knowing that I've been with him a long time. Look, players know who's who in the zoo in this league. I'm just telling you that. And they also know, guys that can help them with their careers. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that Diggs says that.
That's what you love to get, Coach Mac, these relationships, and that's what you built on, and you put some winning in there. Another guy that loves, I believe, being able to look over there and see Denard Wilson is Roger McCreary. Now, we haven't had a lot of talk about him, but because of Cheeto and, Sneed, those guys kind of overshadow when you start talking about big names, Jamal Adams, so forth and so on. But how's he look during camp?
No, McCreary, to me, and for our listeners, falls in kind of the same category of mental maturity early in their careers, just like Tyjae Spears was.
Right.
Some guys come in just mentally mature and ready to accept the league, and then it's not too big for them. It's like the Brownlee kid too. I mean, this year it's not too big for them. It's not too big for them. I mean, I see it, and of course I'm fortunate because I'm mic'd up and I get to be down there and watch their individual drills, see what they're doing. But I mean, sometimes you can tell those guys that are brand new, they've got ability, but their eyes are still big. You know what I'm saying when I say that? And they're just trying to figure out if they fit in. Those guys I just mentioned, they fit in immediately because it's not too big for them mentally. In other words, I'm just talking about the whole aura of the National Football League doesn't intimidate them. And so and Roger McCreary has always been like that. Roger McCreary now, with those other two corners that we paid money to play on the edge, we're talking about this offense being 11 personnel. That's what 78% of the league is right now, basically, is 11 personnel. You need a dude that can live in the slot. That's what Roger McCreary can do.
Yeah.
So when you say 11 personnel, for people that don't know, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers.
There you go. See, perfect. Thank you.
lots of happy birthdays coming from 3HL listeners in the chat. So I know you appreciate that.
I do a lot. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Tell the people. I mean, the people are great to me here. As I said, I've got a very unique situation in my second career in the National Football League here, and I appreciate it.
Coach Mack with us on 3HL. Will Levis was asked after practice if there was a wide receiver that has stepped up in camp, and he answered immediately. His answer was NWI. He went on and on about how great he's been, always in the right place, doesn't get the respect that he deserves. What have you seen from NWI in this camp?
Well, the same thing I've always seen. NWI is a guy that is available and is productive. He's available and productive. And to me, I mean, I've been with guys like this before in my career that come in as a free agent, and then they just continue to stay because they perform and they are consistent. I mean, he's consistently been on the field. And the longer they're on the field, the more they get to perfect their craft. I love the fact that Will Levis said that today. And look, the last 2 years we haven't had the win success, but there's been some plays made in the game that NWI's made. Made big plays in ball games but his consistency and his availability has, that's what's kept him alive in this career. And I'm glad that everybody, especially his quarterback, recognizes it. But coaches recognize this stuff. They really do. I mean, that's extremely important. Speaking of Will Levis today, today I thought was an exceptional day, and he and Ridley are starting to heat up.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
We
haven't gotten to that yet on the show, but I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm watching. Of course, I'm mic'd up and I'm commenting on one thing, but I put my bright lights on when I watch football practice, and I'm going, whoa! Today, you can start to see that they're kind of figuring each other out now a little bit. And Ridley is so smooth, and just so he's one of those guys that is just naturally running, that doesn't look like he's running fast because he's so smooth. He's just smooth, and he's by you, and I'm really looking forward to watching this thing grow as this season grows.
He's an interesting guy. Just kind of being around him after when he was talking about practice and being asked questions and things. That's a guy that truly loves the sport of football. And he talked about how he goes back within himself to when he was a kid and played for the love of the game, and that he's kind of reset that in his head now. And he was talking about those deep balls. He said, look, man, anything Will needs from me, I got it. And he said, all I do is run. He said, all I do is run. Will puts the ball there. And, it's fun to watch him.
Just watching him, though, today, it looked like he a real fast receiver and his quarterback got to get in tune, because sometimes, they've got to learn how to pull back on the clutch a little bit. And the quarterback's got to understand that and realize that. I agree with you about the love of the game. It's the same thing that propels a guy like D-Hop, too. These guys have made money. Yeah. They've made money, and they've got water in their bucket, but they both, to their heart, love the game. They really love playing the game, and they're both competitive as hell.
I mean, he was just smiling as he was talking, and it felt like as he was answering that question, maybe it's because he had it taken away from him, and he realized what he missed.
Could be. Well, and here's the other thing, too. To play this game professionally, any sport professionally, you've got to be all in. You've got to be all in with it. We haven't talked about it, but, Sadiq Charles, I've had guys, retire unexpectedly. And the last thing I would do is ever try to talk them out of it, because if they've already reached that point and it's a doubt in their mind whether they want to do it anymore, then they've lost the edge. And you've got to have an edge to do this. And so whatever's going on in his life, and I want everything to be okay, and it's an individual choice. But once a professional athlete starts to question whether he really wants to do it, then all of a sudden that edge is gone, and it's hard to compete without that edge in professional sports.
Yeah, I think everyone was taken by surprise by that. Just, listening to some of the conversations and talking with some of the players after practice today, like Brunskill said, or maybe it was Radunz said, it was Brunskill. Our concern is for him.
Sure.
And then I'll do whatever the coaches want me to do, but our concern is for him. So in terms of the football element to that at right guard, So you're looking at Radunz, you're looking at Brunskill, who's getting work at center also, but you're looking at Rupchich. From a timing standpoint, they have time to figure that out, right?
Yeah, they got 5 weeks. But the thing that and again, I'm at every practice, and there's things I can't say because I'm at every practice. Yeah. You know, the practice that's open to the media, there's that practice, but I'm at every practice. Yeah. And so, Dillon Radunz, has not only just been relegated to a backup role at guard during all these rotations. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, the head coach said today that they've been 50-50.
Okay, well, then if the head coach said it, then I could say it because that's what I've watched.
Yeah.
I've watched in all of those things, and so it's. I'm sure they weren't anticipating this, but I mean, I think that the competition was still going to be very alive there at that guard and at that tackle position too. I think that's why they gave MPF a chance to jump up there to see what he could do. But there's still an ongoing competition there, and we know this. I really firmly believe right now that from the center to the left, we're pretty well set for this year and for a while. To the right, that's still yet to be determined.
Man, Coach Mack, one of the spots is middle linebacker, the inside linebacker position. These guys, man, I know it's been overshadowed because you don't have the big names there. You got guys coming in, but you got some guys, man, when you talk about ball hawks, and I don't know if it's the system, but boy, go get ball, see ball, eat ball, not hit ball, eat ball. These big old dudes been moving, man.
Well, you know what helps them, though, is those two big monsters in front of them.
Yeah.
Look, I coached linebackers for a year or two in this league. So I can tell you. Yeah. That, and I started out with a Hall of Famer that was playing behind two Hall of Fame defensive tackles. Mike Singletary with Dan Hampton and Steve McMichael in front of him. Yeah. Let me tell you how good life is for a linebacker playing behind dudes like that.
Yeah.
And that's what is happening with these guys because now they can trigger. They don't have to guess. They don't have to fall back. They don't have to take away two gaps. They know those guys are going to not only eat space, but if they're not accounted for, they are going to wreck things before timing ever gets started downhill on them.
Yeah.
That's a huge plus because now with help like that up front, Ron, here's what you could do. And I learned this from Singletary, and it went through with Rivera and Dante Jones and all those guys I coached. Now they can get ahead of the blockers.
Right.
They can play ahead of the blockers because there's wrecking balls up in front. That's important.
And I know probably the people listening to us are like, man, Slay, you got to put a name on. Let me put a name on two of them. Kenneth Murray and James Williams. These two men are built like some freaks of nature.
They really are.
Good gosh, man.
Just athletically. Of course, you know what, professional athletes, if you're around them, I mean, I've been around professional football players for 38 years, but I think if you be around them a while, you kind of get used to it, but you really realize when you get out in public, it ain't normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the same way. And I can remember when we used to go down and watch the Bulls play when Jordan and Pippen and that group were coming up, and we had seats cleared, down there on the floor, and all of a sudden dudes start coming out of the locker room with length that could move. You're going, what the hell? Yeah. I mean, this isn't normal.
Yeah,
So the dudes that they have, but you're right, those two guys athletically that you talk about, just physically, they look like you'd like them to work, and they move like you want them to move.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Great stuff, Coach Mack. Appreciate you. Happy birthday again. Hope you have a great day, my friend.
Guys, you guys are the best. Really appreciate you coming across the field today. Y'all are the best. See ya. Thanks.
See you, Coach.
All right. When we come back, you'll hear from Will Levis. Also, Dillon Radunz. Is he ready for the opportunity to start? And I spent a little bit of time with him talking about Bill Callahan and told him that we call him OLJ. We'll get his take on that. That's coming up next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, people? Ron Slay coming to you live and direct. And I recently contacted We Grow Hair because I was seeing a little sunroof up there. It ain't all the way open, but it's tilted. And I know what you're thinking. Slay, what you talking about? You 6'8", can't nobody see it. Yes, you can. I can see it. So that's enough to make me go and make a change, man. I'll, sitting there on the SEC network, looking on the Zone Stream and things of that nature. I'm like, man, I'm going to fix it. And where am I going? PAI Medical. We grow hair. You can lose up to 50% of your hair before you even notice it. Do what I did. Call right now for your free evaluation. 615-376-6010. 376-6010. For almost 30 years, We Grow Hair has been Nashville's premier hair restoration. We Grow Hair's FDA-approved laser hair therapy plus anagen therapy is going to restore your hair. They have trademarked hair transplant procedure that gives you 3 times more hair in one procedure, and you don't have to go straight to the transplant. Losing your hair? Fix it. Go to WeGrowHair.com. Call 615-376-6010. Tell them Big Slay told you.
Great news for homeowners. Mortgage rates are tanking. My friends at Loan Pronto have rates that start with a 4. How about that? This is the best rate in years. Listen, if your current rate is over 6%, you need to dump it. Lower your house payment big time. That's what we did with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it is time to call Loan Pronto, even if you're in process with another lender. Stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, almost no paperwork, and usually no appraisal either. If you act now, you could even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. They can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull, no upfront fees like those other guys. 615-499-5780. LoanPronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
3HL 1045, The Zone. Britt Doherty with you. Ron Slay is here.
That's right.
We're with you until 6 o'clock.
Happy birthday, Coach Mack again. Let's keep saying it.
Had a guy and his son stop me today, and
What'd he say?
he had a couple of things. He said he loves the shows. He loves the show, but he said it's funny when Babs isn't here.
What's so funny?
That me and you kind of go off a little bit when Mama ain't here.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, yesterday was pretty straight up.
It was. It actually was. But we were in a wild environment, though.
Right. And I said, well, you know, sometimes we kind of try to do that a little bit.
Sometimes it's fun.
Just to keep y'all guessing.
Need
but
y'all on your toes.
She'll be back tomorrow.
If we allow her.
The other question he had, he's like, why doesn't Slay wearing the Traylon Burks jersey out here at camp? And I said, I asked him that on the radio one time, and he's like, nah, not doing that.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
can't go that far.
Nah, that's a little. That's step over right there. Yeah, I can't look at the game the same if I'm out there like that. Be like me going to a basketball practice with a basketball jersey on.
Of a guy on the floor.
Yeah, I love LeBron. Like, I'm going to a Lakers practice with LeBron. I can't do that. That's too far. It's too far. But if I'm going to the game, all right, that's a little different.
Like me showing up for Ice Cube with an Ice Cube shirt on?
But not at the Big Three contest.
Like in a room with him.
Yeah, that's a little stalkerish.
You think so?
I think Traylon may look at me like, oh, okay, this is not. I think this done went too far now.
Yeah, I thought this was funny and everything. My man gonna show up in my front yard.
Yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it, my man. Just ain't it.
Popular topic of conversation, obviously, the Sadiq Charles retirement. Again, our thoughts, prayers with him. We have no idea what's going on. But for a guy to up and retire at a young age, you immediately think about him, and that's what everybody pretty much said with regard to Titans players after practice. This is Will Levis offering his thoughts on Sadiq Charles.
I just wish him the best. It was definitely a shock to all of us, and we want to make sure that he has his privacy and his comfort and his decision. But, you know, I love the short amount of time that I had with Sadiq, and I wish to talk to him here pretty soon to kind of hear if he's open to it. But all I got to say is I wish him the best in the rest of his career.
Daniel Brunskill, obviously one of the guys that is affected because he has seen time at backup center. He has seen time at guard this camp, and now that intensifies probably as they battle it out at right guard. Daniel Brunskill asked after practice about Sadiq Charles and his thoughts on getting an opportunity at right guard.
When they told me to go there, that's when I'm here. At the end of the day, it's just, you know, what the coaches ask you, and that's a question for them. At the end, we're also just, you know, heartfelt for Deke. You know, he's in space, and, you know, he decided to hang it up, and you know, that's a tough thing for him, and we're all just kind of looking out for him more and more concerned about him. But yeah, that's a question for the coach.
So he'll do what the coaches tell him. Concern is about Deke, as he called him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the way things shook out today. It was a whole lot of Brunskill, a whole lot of Rupchich, and a whole lot of Radunz and a whole lot of Rupchich, and Brunskill will get work. We talked with Jim White about it yesterday, and he said that Brunskill would be battling also. So
that's right.
We'll see. With regard to Dillon Radunz, how comfortable is he? This is from A to Z Sports. How comfortable is he now that he is focusing simply on right guard?
Good. I'm feeling really comfortable here at right guard. Learning a lot from coach, having a veteran coach like that to be able to just solidify a role at one spot instead of just bouncing around. It's been very helpful to me this whole camp. So,
gotta love that. Gotta love that, being able to focus and concentrate on one spot. I think you want that in life in general.
Right.
Master something and then branch off to be able to help out other ways, yeah.
Play to your strengths.
And that's what we talked about, this coaching staff being able to play to the guys' strengths, wherever they're strongest at.
You always try to do that in life, right?
Right.
So you hope to be put in a position by someone who has the control over you with regard to your standing there. But Dillon Radunz asked if he's ready for the opportunity to start.
for sure. I think I've always been ready, and I think just taking the opportunities that have been given to me, I think it'll turn out great. So, yeah.
And you know what? On top of that, I don't think he's not been ready. I think he's ready. Now, is the production going to show and be able to produce up to that level that we need him to be? That remains to be seen. But a great opportunity coming up Saturday. It's going to be good. Sell it, man.
Some guys, it just takes longer.
Yeah, no question.
And then they turn out to be 10-year guy in the league.
Yep.
You know? So we'll see.
Coming from a COVID year now.
So after the media scrum with Dillon Radunz, I asked him for one more question. I actually asked two, so shame on me for that. But I wanted to find out what he thought about Bill Callahan.
How different of a coach is Bill Callahan?
He's just super, like I was saying before, like just the veterancy of just how long he's been around the NFL. I mean, it's like, 40, 50 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So just having a coach that literally has seen everything in the development of the game in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And he's been on all aspects of it. Like he's been a head coach, college level, NFL level, O-line coached many great, probably future Hall of Famers. So just having that brain in the room to be able to pick his brain and to have him show us what he's seen and what works and what doesn't work has been huge.
So on 3HL, we call him OLJ, offensive line Jesus.
Okay, yeah.
Are we far off on that?
Probably not. That's a pretty safe bet to say. I'm sure there's other great coaches out there too, but it's just the wisdom and how long he's been around is hard to beat.
When we come back, I know you wanted to hit on Calvin Ridley and what you saw from him today.
So much.
And with regard to that, obviously Will Levis comes into the conversation, and I've got a guy as well. So we'll offer up our take from training camp today when we come back. We would love to hear from you. 615-737-1045. To celebrate Team USA going for gold, Xfinity is offering a gold medal deal now through August 11th. Get their best offer yet with 300 megabit Xfinity internet and one line of unlimited mobile for just $35 a month for a year and a free 5G phone. And the action doesn't stop there. Save on some of the biggest names in streaming by adding the new Xfinity Stream Saver with Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for $15 a month. And don't wait. When the Olympic Games end, so does this deal. Go to Xfinity.com/Team USA, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity, proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees are extra and subject to change. After the promotion, regular rates apply to internet and mobile. Stream Saver price subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Free 5G phone requires eligible trade-in. Select models only.
Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Joe Hunk. Titans had practice today. Media got to meet with some players afterwards, including Quandre Diggs, and we finally figured out why he chose to become a Tennessee Titan.
I mean, it's been a process. You know what I mean? It's been a couple-month process of dialogue every week. Rand, Denard, my agent, myself. It's been a process, but, I mean, it was definitely the best place for me in the fact of just knowing, you know, the caliber of Coach Denard is. You hear it around the league. You see it. Obviously, I got friends that he's coached. I spoke highly of him. So it's just one of those things where, like, it worked out. And, you know, he really wanted me here, and I wanted to be here also.
For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. It is cloudy and breezy and not as hot.
No.
Dawn Davenport on assignment today. She will be back tomorrow.
We got a break today, y'all. It was supposed to be 95 degrees heat index, I think. I don't think it reached.
No, I saw this morning 101.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was supposed to be crazy high. Yeah. Well, we missed out on that. Good job, us. Us won, weather nothing.
Do you think weather will make a comeback?
It definitely will. That's why you gotta be careful. I'm glad we got a night game Saturday.
Oh, I was talking to Rhett Bryan about that. He is a weather guru.
He's on that.
85 degrees at kickoff.
Darn. Oh, that means it's gonna be hot, boy. Hot day.
Well, no, he was saying 85 sounds cool.
Yeah, but
compared to like 95.
What the index gonna be like, though?
You always want to talk about the index.
Then the index is what we feeling.
I'm feeling Ron Slay in the building.
I'm in the building.
You too. You're like two little kids in here.
Zeph always trying to beat me, man.
You want to know something that freaks me out?
What?
Turn around and look at the TV. Synchronized swimming freaks me out, dude. They all look the same. They all move the same. I really can't explain it. Like twins freak me out. I think it was because of The Shining. But synchronized swimming,
really amazing,
man.
Though.
Can you imagine if like me, you, and Moan and Buck got in the pool? Well, Buck can't swim. Me, you, Moan, and Moan can't either. So me, you, Dawn, and Zeph got in the pool and tried to move.
Zeph, can you swim
all at once at the same time?
I can swim.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know how they getting under that holding their breath that long. That's what's gonna get me. And I'm a shark.
I can do that part.
We wouldn't look
Just
real
hold your breath.
synchronized.
Yeah.
Because Slay would tower over all of us.
No, that means I just got to put extra work in and go a little lower underneath the water.
Oh, that too. I guess. Thanks for taking one for the team.
Yeah, as I was going to say, I'm a team player, Zeph. I'm going to make sure we all shine.
I can swim the length of an Olympic-sized pool underwater in one breath from one side to the other. I can do the breath thing.
You meaning from side to side, not
No, long ways.
Like the 50 meters?
100 meters.
The 100? I think
No, it's 50 meters. Yeah, 50 meters. 50 meters. I got you. It burns like a MFer when you get down there. But
how long does it take you?
I would have to see this.
Listen, this isn't about speed, Zeph. This is about being able to do it.
I want to know how long you're holding your breath for.
Yeah, that means you can almost do it for about...
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't timed it.
Because that might be more impressive if you go slower.
Also, I haven't done it in a minute.
No, because he's holding his breath longer.
No, he's going to die. You trying to kill himself?
What?
Well, here's one thing. I do know this. If you try to go fast, it's harder to concentrate on the breath element.
You got to relax your body.
So you take the deep breath and you go a pretty good ways, and then you gently start letting it out. And so by the time you're near the end of the pool, you're completely out of air. But at that point, you're just like, I'm not going to come up short. And so it burns. Why are you looking at me like
I'm trying to do it now. I'm trying to let breath out slowly.
Oh, you can't do that on radio.
We got Zone TV.
We need to have the 3HL Olympics. 30-yard field goal. What are all these things that we talk about? 40-yard dash.
Yep. That's going to have to be the last event because somebody's
going to tear a quad or something. Yeah. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Somebody tears a quad, it rolls up your leg, dude. It's ugly.
Who at the station, if we did a 104.5 Zone Olympics, who would bring home the most gold medals?
Me.
Well, I mean, it depends.
You really got to ask that.
It depends what the events are.
I don't give a damn what the events are.
Let's say the exact same events in the Olympics.
I'm winning swimming. Anything swimming, I'm winning.
No, I'm telling you, I've been out here a long time, man. And I used to swim in little pools that felt like the Seine. Ain't that the name of the river?
Yes.
You feel me?
You mean the poop-infested river in
man,
France?
You just got to get in it. You don't know no better, but you're in there. You know where I learned how to swim?
In the Cumberland River.
No, in a river. It might have been a lake. I was so little, I don't remember. I just know it was somewhere where you couldn't swim to a side.
Who's winning the gymnastics?
Yeah, I'm losing that one. I ain't got no.
Who's flexible on this?
I ain't got nothing but a cartwheel. I got to leave
that one to Dawn and Kayla.
That's a half cart. Yeah. Yep. They gonna. Yep.
Whatever gymnastics.
Buck would act like he gonna challenge him, but he gonna lose.
Whatever happened to the dog that he found? We already asked this question.
Yeah, Andy,
Austin Stanley.
I was gonna say Andy Katz.
I thought you were gonna say Andy Kelly. Andy Katz.
Yeah, I'll put Andy Katz in the mix.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think that name's ever been said on this show.
That's my guy. That's my guy, man.
What did you notice at practice today?
Man, I'm gonna continue to say this because I've seen it one time in my lifetime. And when I say I've seen it in my lifetime, I mean up close and personal. Antonio Brown was a specimen in route running and being able to pull away. Man, Calvin Ridley is different. Like, you hear about people saying, you're Savage, you're Blaine, all these people that played in the league talk about when you're even, you're leaving in the NFL. You're even, you're NFL open. I understand it now by being able to see Calvin Ridley. It is plenty of times the defender, I saw it on 3 separate occasions today. One was just them when they were warming up. So it looked like when Will Levis was ready to let the ball go, I'll say they was probably about 40 yards, maybe 50 yards out. It seemed like he was almost timing it up like, okay, once he get 15 yards down, let the ball go, and he'll adjust. And you saw that. I was like, okay, maybe they starting to get, some rhythm. Another one, they were in one-on-ones inside the red zone, and he ran a dig, an in route, and the cornerback was in his hip pocket on the inside. No way this ball's supposed to be thrown. Will Levis threw it to a spot, and he pulled away while both of them were running full speed. And went and got the ball, and it was like 2 people behind him.
That's what Will Levis is learning with him.
Yeah, like just because he can pull away. Because
most receivers, if you're in the hip pocket like that, you're not going to separate after that. It's just going to be that. It just is what it is.
You start to get like A.J. Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. You start to mess with their catch radius because they got them bear trap hands. Like D-Hop, when he's even with somebody, he's open too. But it's because of his catch radius and his hands, just put it to a spot, he'll go get it. Calvin Ridley's running into the ball. The third one was they were in 11 on 11, and it was a goal. But he did a little stutter, and the cornerback played it. I want to say it was Brownlee. I might be mistaken. But they were even again. And he zipped it right beside Brownlee's or whatever the defensive back, whoever it was guarding him, his ear. And he toe tapped it right beside his helmet, caught it, and toe tap came down with it, moved the chains. The other one was the one we all saw in the second part of the 11 on 11 when he had the safety over the top and the corner right there in his hip pocket. He let the ball go. He pulled away on both and messed up the angle that the safety had to end up getting the ball to be able to intercept it. So when I say special, I haven't seen anything like this in person. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I haven't been fortunate enough to be on the sidelines like this to see a guy with this type of speed. I've seen big guys, T.O., you know what I mean? I've seen them combat catches and stuff like that. This guy pulls away. This is amazing. It's like that little kid at field day. You always like, man, when you was little, they used to have field day. You like, man, I'm going to challenge him. His probably name was always Calvin or something. You'd be like, man, Calvin,
Calvin's always fast.
Always fast. You know what I mean? You like, I'm going to challenge him, and Calvin will be playing around. You know what I mean? And then you get your new shoes, you tie them up real tight. Like, that's going to make you go faster than Calvin. And you can't.
We all thought new shoes made us go faster.
Yeah, except his always newer.
Yeah.
So it's
or not. He didn't care. But Calvin would just run as fast as he needed to run. So if somebody could challenge him, he's going to run faster than you.
This is what we have, man.
So
this is what we have.
What's interesting, too, is we've talked over the course of the last few weeks.
It's exciting, yes.
About Ridley, because there were times where Levis was overthrowing him, where it felt like he was just trying to throw it as far as he could. And so there have been adjustments, but Ridley's ability to separate and create space for yards after the catch is something y'all are going to see. He can even do it in a comeback route.
Yes, he can.
To where he catches the ball with 5 yards of space. It's unbelievable.
It's stupid.
So remember when Levis sat in here and we were talking about the receivers and he said, Ridley is the one I have to get adjusted to. Like he's just different.
Yeah. You know what else is going to come with this too, Euro? We saw it today. It's going to be a couple of times where, as a fan, you're watching the game and you're going to say, don't throw that ball. And the corner doesn't know where it is. Calvin Ridley or D-Hop did it a lot last year. Be able to get that flag thrown and get pass interference because they know how to adjust. It was one thrown today, and Will Levis underthrew it. It looked like purposely to make Calvin slow down and get the pass interference, and refs threw 2 flags because he let the DB run right into him.
Will Levis talked about his chemistry with Calvin Ridley on deep throws after practice today.
Look at him.
Yeah, those are just a couple types of connections we haven't really been able to hit too consistently here during camp. So that was definitely great for the confidence. Getting more and more comfortable with him every single day. Hitting the deep one down the red line was one we've been working on, and to get it in sync, getting in rhythm. I'm excited to watch the tape, and I think it's going to look exactly like we drew it up. So that's what you love, and you got to make plays like the back shoulder and have a feel for that. And so to get those reps are really valuable. And I know that we're going to have to make plays like that if this team wants to be successful.
Calvin Ridley from Jim Wyatt talking about his deep ball chemistry with Will Levis.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. We've been throwing deep balls almost every day. Today we threw a couple of them, connected on them. I mean, it's just throwing it up and coming down with it. He's pretty good at throwing a deep ball, man. Even if he's doing a great job with the deep ball. We're doing a great job.
What worked on that last deep ball and team that you guys connected on?
I don't think it was no different than that posted through. I just ran. I mean, he's putting it out there only way I can get it. That's where we should have put it so no one can get it but I. And I think he's doing an amazing job.
You think he's still learning your speed? Are you faster than maybe he thinks you are?
I don't think I'm just faster than everybody. I think my play speed is pretty fast. I think I play fast. So I think he's getting it. I think he's getting it. I mean, with the film part, I mean, we're trying to figure out what we can do. I'm changing my feet. I'm doing a lot of stuff so that I can be a step slower, faster, or whatever, so that the time is getting there. But I think just the reps, us getting these reps, I told Coach, don't take me out. Let me get the reps. I mean, I'll deal with it another day, sore or not. But I just want to run for him, show him when I'm fast this day, I might be slow the next day. So I just got to get the reps with him because every day is not going to be the same. His arm may be strong today, a little weaker tomorrow. I might be running fast, So it's a feel good thing too. So I like today. Today was a positive day. Let's see tomorrow.
I love this guy,
hey, man. I'm telling you, man, this is why I sound so excited talking about it, because you can see this. Have an opportunity, like you just said, to be out there, and we saw them overthrows. Like, he's burning guys. And it's like, put it right there. Today they were connected.
Yeah, they were. And he always talks with a smile on his face. I love that.
Happy.
Body language guy. He's having a good time out there. What about the confidence? And I just tell him, throw it out there, let me run under it. Like, nobody's going to beat me to the ball.
Let me figure that out.
Yeah.
You just get it out there. I love it.
So great. All right, when we come back, Todd Fuhrman, our guy in Vegas. We'll talk sports gambling. And I talked with Todd today. Going to hit on the Big Ten, like the top of the Big Ten, Big 12 without Texas and Oklahoma, how they power rank conferences. And in terms of, like, when you look at non-conference matchups later in the season, how much goes into, like, the conference evaluation as well. That and more coming up with Todd Fuhrman next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? People, Ron Slade with Wesley Mortgage. You ought to dive into it, man, because the owner, the boss himself, he was out there practice today, too. Chuck McDowell, man, local Nashville native. And what does he do? Gives back to the community, reinvesting in the people. That's why the city is like it is today, man. Steady growing. You got people reinvesting in the city, loving to see the growth of it. And you got a team right here with Wesley Mortgage just loving to put you with a support system and also help you succeed in the mortgage business. They're insuring your loans, close on time, making sure you get paid, giving you back the time to build your businesses, and bring back the fun of the mortgage profession. Now, with unique network opportunities come like the Tennessee Titans, Music City Grand Prix, Nashville Predators, and more. So why wouldn't you want to be a part of this team? When you see other mortgage companies downsizing, not what's happening with Chuck McDowell and Wesley Mortgage. They're rapidly expanding through Nashville. Why don't you come be a part of this team? Just go to ywesley.com. YWESLEY.com.
3HR 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Dawn Davenport will be back tomorrow. She's up in Bristol, Connecticut, talking to all of her ESPN friends about college football.
And getting connected.
Ice Cube scheduled to be on the show later in the week. It still amazes me that you can find anything on America's Most Wanted to play.
Oh, no question. Oh, yeah. You're right.
An incredible record. Todd Fuhrman joins us now from Vegas. Todd, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing well, gents. Hopefully you guys are holding down the fort in Dawn's absence. A little bit disappointed, though, that ESPN can't spring to send all their staff to a little bit more exotic destination than Bristol, Connecticut in early August.
Spare no expense, Todd.
Man, ESPN just takes shots no matter what it is.
No, I mean, look, it's, we can take shots at those outfits that aren't able to defend themselves. That's what we do best during this segment every Wednesday afternoon.
So we're coming to Vegas in 2 weeks, Todd, and we're going to do shows from Circa. Is that where we are?
Yep.
Circa Hotel.
Yep.
No, and I'm working on reservations. I will most likely get something on the books for us that Thursday night, potentially. Take you guys to a quintessential old school Las Vegas haunt, so you guys get the true Vegas experience rather than some of those overpriced establishments on Las Vegas Boulevard.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Zeph is coming, right, Zeph?
That's right.
Yeah. You get to meet our producer.
Look, I mean, the fact that you guys are bringing the producer out as well, hopefully Zeph is able to hold his adult beverages, and he is coherent every day that you guys are doing the show in the middle of the afternoon, knowing that it's 2 hours earlier out here on the West Coast.
Can you believe that?
I won't be.
11 to, I can't even do the math, 1 to 4 we will be on from Vegas.
Why do we need to be coherent?
The good thing is, Slay, that there is no last call anywhere out here. So, if you guys happen to have an adult beverage or two in front of you, as long as it's out of the view of the cameras, nobody will be none the wiser, especially in the home office back there in Nashville.
We tend to end up at Benihana when we're in Vegas.
I mean, if you come out to Vegas, everyone goes, hey, if I could pick one restaurant, it's going to be Benihana.
Too loud.
We're having some technical issues that no one can notice except for us. Todd Fuhrman with us on 3HL. Odds that Jim Harbaugh ever coaches in college football again. Pretty nice of them to lay the hammer down on a guy that's not even in their sport anymore.
Yeah, exactly. The NCAA continues to show that they're a little bit toothless in some of the punishments that they want to dole out with the show cause. I mean, Jim Harbaugh isn't coming back to college anytime within the next 4 years. Right. He'll wait for the statute of limitations to kind of wear off there. He'll serve out his penalty, whether it's during a successful tenure as head coach of the Chargers, and then decide if he wants to come back to the college ranks. But if this was the much ado about nothing, honestly, at this point, nothing shocks me whatsoever when the NCAA decides it wants to dole out punishments to really make a statement and discourage other programs from engaging in similar behaviors.
Who do they think they're scaring over this stuff, Todd, after the fact?
I mean, I think it's more gesturing than anything else. I don't think it's discouraging anyone from doing this. No different than when North Carolina had the academic situation unfold. As far as their program was concerned, it took a couple of years to come up with nothing. At this point, I'll be more surprised, Slay, when the NCAA hands out an actual punishment that meters some level of discipline than I will be when something like this unfolds, that nobody is actually punished, and any of the athletic programs that benefited immensely by what may or may not have taken place will not have any impact on the field.
So it's just a bit of peacocking.
More or less. I think that's the perfect way to kind of describe it.
That's very well done. Todd Fuhrman, Bet the Board podcast. They rolled through the conferences in college football. Now they're going through the divisions in the NFL. AFC South coming up soon, I guess, this week.
Not this week, but it will be on the docket. I have to look at the schedule. I'm not sure if it's next week. The conference that will be rolling out tomorrow, or division, I should say, arguably the most competitive from top to bottom in the AFC. Not the AFC South, but the AFC North. So any Ravens, Browns, Bengals, and Steelers fans, they can look for that podcast to drop. All things technologically committed, but hopefully by noon out there in the Central Time Zone.
Let's talk about the Big Ten. Todd, at least the top part of it. How do you begin to break this down from a power rating standpoint when you've got Oregon coming in, you've got Ohio State with that incredible roster, Penn State still hanging there with the quarterback back, Michigan, USC. What do you do with this?
It's kind of the big four and then everybody else, and we can kind of even segment it further from there. Ohio State and Oregon separated by anywhere from 1.5 to 2 points for me, depending on which rating system I want to try and apply. That puts them right behind Georgia, ahead of the triumvirate of Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss from the SEC, to put in perspective. But you can kind of throw a blanket over 4 or 5 of those schools. I don't make an adjustment for Texas power rating with the season-ending injury to C.J. Baxter. Jaden Blue, I think, will take on a much bigger responsibility in the backfield, and it's a wealth of riches that the Longhorns have at their disposal. Then when you want to move down from those programs, you're looking at Penn State and Michigan separated by 2 to 3 points there. It's not until you start to head a little bit further down the power numbers that you're talking about USC, and then it's a much bigger drop-off until we get to the Wisconsins and the Iowas of the world. What's interesting about that is when you talk about the Iowa Hawkeyes, we've gone through at great lengths how impotent their offense was last year and how their defense had to bail them out time and time again. We've seen money come in on their win total from 7.5 to 8, but that's a lot more to do with the schedule that the Hawkeyes will face than their realistic ability to try and compete with some of the perennial blue bloods. So it's 4 teams separated by the narrowest of margins there. You get USC, and then it's the best of the rest. So for me, when I look at the Big Ten from top to bottom, it's a relatively top-heavy league. What's interesting about this conference is which of those teams can kind of assert themselves in the middle. And when you go through the unbalanced schedules that we'll see, not just in the Big Ten, but the SEC, it's always important to keep that in mind, that when you're looking at these regular season win totals, that's not always a reflection of where these teams are from a power rating standpoint. It's more the opponents that they'll have on their schedule. Florida, the perfect illustration, as we'll talk about in great detail in the SEC. If they had a more favorable schedule, the Gators' win total wouldn't be 4.5. And you can make the case, if they were in the Big Ten, that from where I have them power rated, that Florida would be right there alongside USC, kind of vying for that middle tier sorts.
That's what I kept saying about Florida. They could be better roster-wise, but that schedule is ridiculous. And so they could be better, but not. You know what I mean?
And that's the whole thing. And we say it all the time, not just in college football, but the NFL. And I know it's not what fans want to hear. Teams can be better year over year, but it may not necessarily be reflected in the record, especially in college football now. Throw out the non-conference portion of the schedule, but every schedule in the SEC from top to bottom won't be created equally. There's a reason that you look at Missouri and their win total is sitting at 9.5. There's a reason you look at Florida and their win total has been bet from 5.5 down to 4. Now, there's, of course, a difference in power number for those two teams, but those sides are only separated for me by 5.5 points, yet 5 wins based on the opponents they'll face, not their rosters from top to bottom.
Todd Fuhrman always helping you get ready for football season with the information, even if you're not into sports gambling. And that's where the Bet the Board podcast comes in. So much information. It is, if you're a college football fan, NFL fan, you definitely need to check out these podcasts, even if you're not into the sports gambling. So from a Big 12 perspective, I think it's interesting. Oklahoma, the 7th, I think, betting favorite in the SEC, but they would be second, I would guess, in the Big 12.
Exactly right. When you're looking at Oklahoma, they would be right behind the Texas Longhorns in terms of the way those teams power rate. And when you're looking at that look-ahead number for the Red River rivalry game, that'll now be a fixture on the SEC schedule, you're looking at Texas right around a touchdown favorite there. I think Oklahoma, though, is an interesting team because if their offensive line gels, hopefully not for Vols fans before their meeting in late September, this could be a team to watch that checks a lot of boxes on the defensive side as a young quarterback in Jackson Arnold, where we're going to see some uneven performances week to week, but he's a player that was highly regarded, highly recruited, and maybe the perfect fit to kind of lead their offense. But when you look at the Big 12, the top power-rated team for me, at least on paper, as I have things right now, Kansas State and Utah, but at the same time, I wouldn't endorse betting either of those teams to win the conference. This league from top to bottom may be the most competitive. You have legitimately 6 to 8 teams that if things break the right way can go out there and win the league. And one of the more intriguing teams when you look at where they're power rated and how they're being bet is actually UCF. We've seen the Golden Knights take some, or the Knights I should say, take some money to win the league at prices in that 10-1, 12-1 range. And for folks that believe that Gus may have the perfect recipe there, you've actually seen KJ Jefferson bet in the Heisman Trophy race as well from 300-1 to prices now widely available in that 60 to 80 price tag.
That's my guy right there, right, Todd Father. Keep your eye on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, we saw him at his best leading that Arkansas offense when he was healthy, he was surrounded by weapons, and put together some gaudy numbers. Now you're talking about a player that Gus Malzahn has said is the most dynamic quarterback he's had to lead his offense since since Cam Newton was there at Auburn. It speaks volumes about what this team is capable of doing. And when we're talking about the Heisman resume, if UCF were to go out there, be a conference champion, and go 9-3, suddenly KJ may have the opportunity to put up some big-time numbers, both from a rushing and throwing standpoint. I'm not saying he can do what Jaden Daniels did last year at LSU, but one of the things you have working in your favor, if you want to try and put together that Heisman resume, if a defense can't get stops consistently, you're going to find yourself in a lot of track meets. And we've seen from Heisman voters, they don't discount you putting up stats in a game that ends 49-45 compared to a game that's a little bit lower scoring.
Absolutely. Now, Todd, Father, if I was looking, I thought I saw something with Big Ten, 3.5 over or under as far as getting into the college football playoff.
And I think that's kind of the perfect number, Slay. When you're looking at Ohio State, Oregon, if you're betting over on that, you have to pencil in those two teams that are massive favorites to get into the mix. You need to believe that Penn State's offense will find another gear with a new offensive coordinator, and Andy Kotelnicki, that comes over from Kansas, a guy that we are very high on. But you do wonder if James Franklin is going to put a governor on that offense and try and lean into what defensive coordinator Tom Allen and company put together. So those three teams make some sense. And then it's, do you believe that USC can get over the hump? Do you believe that Michigan, with all these distractions and a first-year head coach in Sharon Moore, can get the job done? I haven't seen the exact juice attached to that number, but for me, I would be much more inclined to go under 3.5 on the Big Ten than I would over. I'm not sure USC can jump into that upper echelon, and I am not buying the Michigan Wolverines this season. Even with a schedule that looks to be a little bit more favorable, we'll, of course, have a pretty good indication of what the Wolverines' ceiling is on the season if they're able to upset Texas at home in Ann Arbor the second week, where right now they're a little bit more than a field goal underdog.
So how do you break down the conferences from a power rating standpoint? Like which conference is the strongest and so forth?
Yeah, the SEC for me is a clear-cut number one, because as I'm looking at my numbers right now, and I kind of do the quick count, I have 4 SEC teams inside my top 7, and then when you get down to teams like LSU, Oklahoma, A&M, Missouri, and Tennessee, all inside my top 17 that have a chance to take a leap forward. Now, it does come with the caveat for LSU. I have them power rated inside my top 10, but I am not bullish on the Tigers at all. If Garrett Nussmeier can't recreate some of the offensive magic we saw from Jaden Daniels, I don't think LSU did themselves any favors in terms of the way they were able to recruit and address one of their big concerns along that defensive line. I think Oklahoma has a slightly higher ceiling than they're being given credit for. And if we want to talk about dark horses in the SEC, look, A&M and Missouri's schedule is set up as favorably as any teams you're going to find, and they have the kind of quarterback, A&M in the case of Connor Wegman, if he can stay healthy, and Brady Cook, that can get both of those teams to 10 wins. So I think they're intriguing teams. But yeah, it's the SEC and everybody else when we're talking about overall depth on a week-in, week-out basis.
So as you go through the season and you adjust power ratings for teams, how much, let's say we get to the playoff, how much of it goes into strength of conference that the team you're looking at comes from and strength of schedule?
It's a combination of factors. When you look at power ratings, especially in college football, you have to have the ability to overreact and underreact at the same time. And while that may sound a little bit counterintuitive, if a team gives you a couple of data points early in the year where you go, you know what, this team is significantly better or significantly worse, you have to make some of those wholesale changes. And for college football, unlike the NFL, it's not uncommon during the month of September that you can go out there and adjust these teams 7 to 10 points and be willing to adjust them back. If you're still making touchdown adjustments in the month of November, you're doing something horribly wrong, because the more data points that you have, you don't want to be taking those wild swings. But there are definitely teams that I circle coming into the year where I'm going to get a much better indication of who they are. And I know we've talked about Tennessee, but games against NC State and Oklahoma going to tell me a heck of a lot more about who those two teams are going forward than a team like an Ole Miss, where when we go through the Rebels schedule, games against Furman, MTSU, at Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, Kentucky, and at South Carolina aren't going to tell me nearly as much through the first 6 weeks as a home date against LSU in week 7, or a stretch where they'll play Oklahoma and Georgia over the course of 3 weeks, where I may have to keep Ole Miss's power rating very static to some extent and be willing to make much bigger changes during October as the Rebels start to show me who they are. And when we talk about the Big Ten, a very similar storyline that will unfold there. You can say what you want. Ohio State taking on Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, and being at Michigan State ain't going to tell me much in terms of where they are before they go into an interesting stretch in week 6 and week 7 where they'll get the Hawkeyes at home, where they're more than a 3-touchdown favorite right now. And, of course, the big game that I think every Big Ten fan and college football fan alike will circle, their maiden voyage as conference members out to Eugene to take on the Ducks at Autzen, where that game, depending on where you look, right around a pick 'em as things look right now.
Man, it's so interesting. Can't wait for this season. It's gonna be a fun one. And the other thing with the expanded playoffs, the better teams are going to play more players too, right? Like to keep guys fresh.
For sure, and it's going to be a war of attrition. I think you're going to see a lot more meaningful football taking place in November. And while the college football purist goes, well, it dilutes the meaning of the regular season, I'll go the exact opposite. Because how many times over the last couple of years have we said you wouldn't want to see this team in the college football playoff because they're peaking at the right time?
Right.
They're going to have that luxury to get in, go out there, and prove their mettle. And when you look at the layout in the college football playoff, the way it's structured, at least for the next 2 years, yes, a Big 12 team will have a bye, and when they win the conference championship as one of those top 4 seeds, there's a lot to be said about finishing as that 5 seed, taking on that automatic qualifier coming from, the group of 5 conferences, knowing that first round game will be at home, drawing a Big 12 conference champion on a neutral in that round of 8, and having a chance to have an inside track to get to the college football playoff. So a lot of interesting dynamics in play, especially if we're talking about a team from the SEC having a chance not to play the SEC championship game. It's actually going to benefit them more than the team that comes up on the short end of the stick, losing in Atlanta and then being thrust into potentially that 5 or 6 spot.
So you could see like a 9, 10, 11 seed win this thing. You know what I mean? Based on
I'm not sure I'm not sure you're going to see one of those teams necessarily win it, because I do think if you're talking about being the 10 or 11, you're going to have a daunting road in front of you, playing a very difficult set of games to get there.
Road game, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to make for some interesting dynamics, and I'm very curious to see how sports books elect to, price these out. And I think this year, more so than what we've seen in the past, it's going to create a little bit of upside and opportunity for us to kind of bet into the futures market deeper into the season than what you'd see otherwise, because I do think that 5 seed overall for programs not named Notre Dame could be the most advantageous line to find yourself on if you're there, knowing that the road will look a lot easier, at least on paper, than what it would even as a conference champion should you finish, number 1 in the Big Ten or the SEC and have to take on the 7 or 8 seed in that second round.
On the way out, how big a favorite is is Team USA to win the gold?
Massive favorites. We saw them as high as, roughly 1 to 10. They've done nothing to kind of change that narrative. When you look at the price tag, right around a 16-point favorite for the semifinal game against Serbia, a team they've already beaten twice. The interesting dynamic in play, of course, be against the winner of that Germany-France game. Germany a 4.5, 5-point favorite. And this is a German side that surprised a lot of people in terms of odds makers. They were FIBA world champions. They play the international game as well as anybody. But their odds to win the tournament have come down substantially from 30 to 1 before this thing started. In my opinion, clearly the second best team. And I think if that's who Team USA draws, they'll be a double-digit favorite there, but I don't think it'll be the kind of game that they can roll over, knowing that the chemistry is there. And as Slay can attest to, FIBA games played at its highest level. Chemistry goes a long way because it's a a little bit different than the NBA.
Funny when everybody was worried. Remember? Remember that?
And be cool.
His slave was like, "Hey, be cool. Keep your powder dry."
You got to be peaking going into the games that mean the most. I'm not sure Serbia will be able to push them to the brink, but I can say, the winner of that Germany-France game, I think a lot more formidable than playing an NBA JV team that a lot of people were worried about if Canada was going to be their opponent in a gold medal game.
Yeah, even with all those NBA players, they were going to roll them.
Yep. Good stuff, Todd.
Yeah, exactly. Similar style basketball makes it a little bit easier, different dynamic in play, but I'm not sure the French have enough in the way of guards. Why I think the most competitive game, at least on paper, would be drawing the Germans for the gold medal.
Todd Fuhrman.
Good job, Todd Fuhrman.
All right, Bet the Board podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, download, all of those things, and get it done. You'll be a lot smarter if you do. Thank you, Todd.
Always a pleasure, gents.
There he goes. At Todd Fuhrman on X. Yeah, everybody was worried. You were like, that's why when they won that game by 1 point against South Sudan, I was like, that we led the show with that. Because everybody was freaking out.
Be cool, people.
When we come back, Eli Drinkwitz has the trash talk going.
Oh, hell.
With the Vols circled. You're going to love this story. That's next 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Football's back. Why don't you join in and get some of this money? The biggest pro football contest in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Millionaire. Now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Now you have two ways to win. Now, Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. If the team loses or ties, the entry is eliminated. You can only pick each team once in a season. Last the longest to win it all. $10 million guaranteed. Now, on to the next one. Circa Million. Make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed. Quarterly and full season payouts. The entry that does the worst wins $100,000. You must register at Circa Sportbook in Nevada, Las Vegas, Henderson, or Sparks, Reno. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. Now, we're heading out there the 22nd and the 23rd doing the live show. Entries are now open and closed September 7th at 2 p.m. Visit circasports.com for details. Must be 21 and present in Nevada to enter. The Big Three, the world's greatest basketball tournament of the summer, is back, and it's coming in hot right here in Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, Sunday, August 11th, for the semifinals. See which teams earn the right to battle for the championship. That'll be the week after in Boston. Ice Cube, that's who's bringing it to you. Yay! Big Three, professional 3-on-3 basketball, and some of the biggest stars and most competitive athletes to the game, bringing it to you front and center. Hall of Fame coaches on hand, just like Gary Payton, Lisa Leslie, Dr. J will be in the building. Join Ice Cube and legendary Big Three Commissioner Clyde the Glide Drexler at Bridgestone this Sunday at noon for the battle of the semifinals to go to the chip. Bring your crew, bring the fam, all the hoop heads. It's a day packed of dunks, crossovers, fantastic finishes. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets now at big3.com/tickets. You don't want to miss this energy and this great competition. Grab your tickets at big3.com/tickets.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. We'll talk Titans football in the 5 o'clock hour. Quandre Diggs at training camp today. Rhett Bryan told me as practice ended, we were walking toward the interview section. He said, man, Quandre Diggs, you can just see it. He's got GPS for the ball.
Dude,
He goes straight at it.
Jaquan Jackson, am I saying that right?
Yep.
They brought him in motion, circling back around the quarterback. Quandre Diggs was about 10 yards deep. Start inching up closer and closer. Snapped the ball, and before he could even get back to the line of scrimmage with getting the outlet pass on the screen, the little bubble screen, Quandre was in the backfield, touching him already. Like, dude is
First day.
Like, the nose for the ball. Like, look, you heard Coach Mack talk about Amani Hooker. Amani a nose for the ball. Jamal Adams knows for the ball. Now Diggs knows for the ball. Good God Almighty. You got three safeties.
So what happened earlier, if y'all were listening and it sounded weird, like there was a loud noise or something like that. I didn't get the loud noise that you got.
I did. Good gosh.
But apparently they did on YouTube. What happened was Mike Buckner, our engineer, walked into the studio, and I think the board, like, when it just sensed like a disturbance in the force and like just freaked out for a second.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's okay. Buckner's a good dude.
No. Don't trip. He can handle it.
He's got it.
But that dude, man, and I didn't think he was that short.
Who, Mike Buckner?
No. Quandre Diggs. But he's compact.
Amani's kind of short, too.
Yeah, but he's taller than him, though. Like, this dude look like Jabari Small.
Aptly
No
named.
pun. No pun intended, but yeah.
No pun fully intended.
But boy, he got a nose for the ball.
From John Bryce with Football Scoop. Missouri football coach Eli Drinkowitz loves to troll and take digs. That's from me, not Bryce, with the stories from Bryce. But we all know that, right?
Absolutely.
Loves to troll and take digs.
No question.
After Missouri beat Tennessee 36-7, Drink said they stood on business.
Yeah, I remember it.
And he said that as a shot to Heupel, but I can't remember what led to that little spar there. He felt like Tennessee had run up the score the year before, I think, is what that was. He also said after that game, quote, our defense kicked their ass, end quote.
He had to say that because the offense put on such a show when we played Missouri up there. It was a running play, and the linemen had their hands in the air already when we was running away with it.
Yeah. Mizzou also beat last year MTSU, Memphis, and Vandy. So PowerMizzou.com was interviewing a player after practice the other day, and it was safety Trevez Johnson. And he was wearing a T-shirt for post-practice interviews that read, Mizzou, Tennessee State champs.
That's a good one. He ain't lying.
He ain't lying, but he takes full advantage of it.
I like it. You want to troll?
You like the trash talk.
Yeah, you want to troll it? I'm with that right there. Yes, sir.
If you don't want that smoke, then...
Yeah, beat him. That's all right. I ain't tripping. Golly.
Tennessee State champs.
That's all right.
So
beat all of them.
The only Tennessee team they play this year in the regular season is Vanderbilt at home.
At Vandy?
No, at Missouri.
Oh, well. Come on, Cargley. The Fighting Leaves.
Come on, Cargley.
I need him to get him. He think he's so good. Drink.
Listen, man.
Bab said, boy, when he get to winning.
She did. He was talking when they were losing.
He sure was. That's the one thing to say. Yeah, he's been consistent.
I'll tell you this. They've had 6 double-digit win seasons in the history of their program. No, since 1961, something like that. Anyway, 2 of them are him.
That's tough.
So he's had 2 11-win seasons in his 5 seasons there.
That's tough.
And remember, going into last year, he was on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm. Put anybody else. Yeah, see. Now, Drink, I need you to take that next step because you give us 11 wins, win a football playoff.
That's right. Where are they ranked in the coaches poll?
Right above us. I think it's 13.
Let's go through that. We haven't done it yet on the show. Let's go through that, and then we'll get to Titan stuff. You're going to hear from Will Levis, Roger McCreary, Quandre Diggs. Some other I asked Amani Hooker, like, how does that free him up as a player? Diggs next to him. So we'll do all of that in the 5 o'clock hour. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
The F&M Bank Chat is wide open. Training camp continues for the Tennessee Titans. More coverage next on 104.5 The Zone. Upton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, new or pre-owned. The guys at Gupton are ready to help you out. Ken Gupton, Daniel Gupton, all the guys. Just want to know what you're looking for, and they will point you in the right direction. You take your test drive, you go inside, they will help make the numbers work, and it'll be that easy. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. Just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Ran into Ken Gupton yesterday. He came by the remote. Slay Dog got a chance to meet him as well. Great dude, and you're going to love that family atmosphere at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. They've been doing it a long time, and they've been doing it well. Better than anybody. And you're not only going to buy this vehicle from them if you go see them, you'll buy more from them down the road because you're going to love it. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Again, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. All the dealership information is there. Phone number, address, inventory, and all the deals they have going on. GuptonMotors.com. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
The Big Three, the world's greatest basketball tournament of the summer, is back, and it's coming in hot right here in Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, Sunday, August 11th, for the semifinals. See which teams earn the right to battle for the championship. That'll be the week after in Boston. Ice Cube, that's who's bringing it to you. Yay! Big Three, professional 3-on-3 basketball, and some of the biggest stars and most competitive athletes to the game, bringing it to you front and center. Hall of Fame coaches on hand, just like Gary Payton, Lisa Leslie, Dr. J will be in the building. Join Ice Cube and legendary Big Three Commissioner Clyde the Glide Drexler at Bridgestone this Sunday at noon for the battle of the semifinals to go to the chip. Bring your crew, bring the fam, all the hoop heads. It's a day packed of dunks, crossovers, fantastic finishes. Don't miss out. Grab your tickets now at big3.com/tickets. You don't want to miss this energy and this great competition. Grab your tickets at big3.com/tickets.
And good evening from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Joe Hunk. No Olympic spoilers, so don't worry. Titans had practice today. Afterwards, Will Levis, Quandre Diggs, and Roger McCreary all met with the media, and the media was able to talk to Roger McCreary about aggressiveness and how and why so many defensive players are playing that way in training camp.
I feel like a lot of guys are aggressive. Like, they just got to be that dog in you. You just can't, like, tell nobody you got to be aggressive. It just got to be in you, really, and that's just part of football, really. And you can tell how everybody that came on the team, you can tell that's how the coach wanted, and that's a part of everybody on his defense. So it wasn't really like hard to put everybody on board with that, being aggressive or being locked in, because everybody really got their dog in them, and that's what Denard liked about each and every one of us.
For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, as well as home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. What up, Nashville? Brett Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Happy Wednesday to you. What does that mean in our world? There he is. He's Ronald Sylvester Slade.
I'm in the building. What are you doing, Zeph?
The games y'all play.
Zeph's the only one playing the game. Ain't nobody playing with you, Zeph.
If he's playing a game, though, there is a game being played.
Yeah, but I'm not involved. Willingly.
He doesn't know he's involved.
You just got Zephed. Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
Titans training game continues. The pads were popping today, man.
Yes, they were.
I can't wait for this Seattle thing.
No, it's going to be good.
And Quandre Diggs is go against his whole team real fast.
And Jamal Adams, too.
Well, assuming he's good to go at that point.
I would be. Just saying.
I think it's time to come back now.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch us on live YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Brandon, I think Brandon, Slade's getting on you.
I know. I've been bad about that today.
Whoa. You okay, Slade?
Yeah, I crushed the can, thinking it was Zeph. Dang it.
Left rim on the garbage can, out. I think Brandon on YouTube is talking about Eli Drinkwitz. He said he probably pees sitting down.
yeah, I'm Dorkwitz.
Man, the pads were popping, and they were taking running backs to the ground today.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think they were supposed to the whole time.
No. But it's funny because I didn't really hear the stay up that we were hearing in the past.
I'll tell you one thing, man, that what was it, the second drive for the ones? Are we supposed to say ones, twos, and threes and all that?
Fans were out there today.
Okay. So the second drive with the
at least
ones,
today.
Yeah, inside the red zone, man, about 8 yards out, man, they gave to Tony Pollard. He had a jump cut in the hole. Woo,
was that the touchdown?
So pretty, yes.
Yep.
God. Yes. It was beautiful, man. Like, it was the O-line trying to get it together, man. I'm going to be real. Now, you got some destructive guys over there on the defensive side in the trenches, but they learning and holding their own.
T-Sweat has a long way to go, obviously, but, man, he is a problem.
Yes, he is. He's going to be fun to watch, especially fun to watch grow into his role and to the confidence in it.
Corey Curtis noticed this. I didn't really notice this, but Corey Curtis noticed this, and it was a good point, I thought. So he made a destructive play in the backfield and then made another play back to back, stayed on the field.
Yep.
For another play, stayed on the field for another play, and Corey's like, man, that's 4 snaps in a row, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but they do rotate a lot on defense. I mean, it's still fascinating. We keep talking about this, but it's fascinating when you see a guy that big move that quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro or anything like that, and I'm not saying he's going to have 10 sacks or anything like that, but he will be a problem from time to time for sure. And that benefits Big Jeff big time.
You can see it. You can see it. Them slanting the offensive line. You heard Coach Mack talk a little bit about it. They did it today on T-Sweat and Big Jeff because they were lined up on the left. If you're on the offensive line, towards the left side of the offensive line, and they shifted and slid everybody over there. And you know who still got in the backfield? Immediately, T'Vondre Sweat. Like it ain't. It's man, when they ready to go, it's nothing you can do. It is nothing. You better just.
That's why we
catch them off guard or something.
We played the cut earlier, but Will Levis was saying after practice he's working on stepping up in the pocket and like how far to step up. And he said every team's got different strengths throughout the league. He said, but it's tough to do that, step up in the pocket against the Titans D. He said they get so much inside push with Big Jeff and Sweat, and they're right in his face.
Yeah, buddy.
And he said they're giving them great looks.
Yeah.
So
another hand you're going to see up is Kenneth Murray. And in these runs, because they're staying so clean, Dr. Gibby right there in the hole, too. He keeps showing up. Kenneth Murray, them long goal arms.
The linebackers have room to run.
They are roaming. They are roaming.
Because on run plays, theoretically, if you're doing things the way you want to do them on offense, you want some of your interior offensive linemen to get to the second level.
Right.
They can't do that against these two guys up there.
I don't know.
And then, listen, Joseph Day, too.
Yeah. Like
he keeps showing up on run D.
Yes, he do.
Now, how much of this is them and how much of it is O-line needs work?
I think it's both because what we're leaving out is the O-line has wins in today, too. Like, I know we're harping on the defensive front and them getting off, but, man, the O-line, they came with it as well. Like, Cushenberry held his own. The reason we're able to talk about these pass plays hitting for long yards and things of that nature, like, it's because Will Levis has a pocket. Cushenberry, man, he ain't getting ragged all up there. He holding his own one-on-one. And Skoronski, Radunz look good today. You know what I mean? Like, it's growing. Latham, of course. MP, like, they look good, too. They got wins, too. It's just, I think with the expectation that was coming in with these guys up front and trying to get Big Jeff back to his dominant form, that's why it stands out so much so quickly. I think it's still growth to be had on both sides of the ball, but the offense has their share of wins too. The running holes are open. Jabari Small looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Pollard looked really good. Tajay Spears is always Tajay Spears. Like, there's going to have to be some decisions made because it's a lot of guys that are being able to shine.
I'm glad you brought up Jabari Small because he's going to make that a tough decision running back three. I mean, it's not like the most important battle on the field, but it is to him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because Haskins looks good, too.
Haskins looks good, too.
Yep.
So that one will be fun to watch. Will Levis talked about, after practice, talked about the offensive line and how they progressed in his point of view.
It's been good. I mean, they've really come along the last couple of weeks. We're in a much better spot now than when we started. Bill's been working them really hard. Lloyd's been, just a great man for them to hold it down up front. And the last couple of days, I feel like we've been able to come into our own a little bit and feel more comfortable with the different kind of looks we've seen. And we got to give Denard credit for just the amount of looks that they've been able to give us. All the stunts, all the different games, all the different fronts. And it's kept them on their toes every single day, and it's made them better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Making each other better. So we'll get back to the offensive line, but Rhett Bryan was talking with Brown Lee Jr., rookie cornerback, and it was a great conversation. You'll be able to hear it the entirety on Titans radio, and he said he brings everything he has on every rep, no matter what.
Tough.
And said it definitively and confidently, like just matter-of-factly.
Yeah.
But he did say this. He said he does have some things to work on. He has a long way to go with eye discipline. He said he has a ways to go with his feet, his hand placement.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an honest thing. He's telling you exactly what he's working on as an individual player. He said the wide receivers on this team are incredible. And he said that helps him. He said that helps him get better. That competition with those guys, he said, iron sharpens iron. That dude's going to be a stud. And think about it. I mean, if there's an injury situation where one of the guys on the outside has to come out, who's moving over there? Yeah. Roger McCreary. Yep. Who's moving into the slot? Yep. Brown Lee. And I think they would do that right now.
And today you had, with the ones, you had Trey Avery on one side, and then
with experience, you've got guys with experience too.
So Trey Avery, he took his lumps last year, but also came back fighting. Brownlee was outside, McCreary inside, and then you got the help, man. That's where you get the savviness of a guy like Quandre Diggs back there playing safety that can help out those guys. Yeah, man.
So Dillon Radunz talking after practice about the chemistry on the offensive line with all of this movement and shifting and new pieces.
The chemistry, I think just a lot of new pieces. Obviously, J.C. Latham, Lloyd, throwing guys in there. It's always been a mix at right guard right now. Just adding new guys, getting Nick Petit back. So, yeah, it's just been a mosh pit, and it's just been like a refresher. It's like, and then you get a new coaches, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just been from the start. We have a clean slate, and we started building from the foundation and just building up. So, yeah, just building that chemistry from day one, starting with a clean slate. I think it's gone well. I think it's going well, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
They got to figure out right guard, and they're working on several different people. So that is a real battle going on there. And we haven't really even talked about right tackle, but there have been multiple people playing at different times with the ones and twos, and so that's still a work in progress as well.
We'll be able to ask Big Savage tomorrow, like, what can you cover up? If Skoronski was able to, if Latham can hold his own, Skoronski can hold his own, can you cover up Cushenberry? Can Cushenberry help cover up that right guard along with MPF if they hold their own?
When we come back, your phone call, 615-737-1045. You want to talk about training camp? Maybe you have a question about what we've seen out there. Maybe you have an opinion about what's going on with regard to the Titans roster. Also, you will hear from the new Titan safety, Quandre Diggs. Why the Titans? He'll explain next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, people? KellamStemCellInstitute.com. Holistic stem cell therapy brought to you. Going to get that inflammation out of your body by using your body, your cells, which makes it your solution. Harvested body stem cells is what they're doing, and storing them as well for future and continued use. These cells are your body's own healing cells, harvested and redeployed based on your needs. Now, stem cells attack inflammation. You got that? That's what it does in the body. And we all know that autoimmune disorders derive from inflammation. So why not wipe that out? From congestive heart failure, lung issues, autism, arthritis, it all can be alleviated. All you got to do is reach out. Dr. Kellum, 615-850-4415. You set up your consultation today, 615-850-4415. I've been through this process, and it's worked for me. Knee, hip, and shoulder. Anything else act up, I'm going back again. Where I'm going, KellamStemCellInstitute.com.
All right, we all know sometimes it is time to upgrade things in your home. And, maybe everybody's thinking, oh, yeah, kitchen, bedroom, bathroom. What about your windows and your doors? I know not the sexiest upgrade, but sometimes you have to do it. And you need to go with Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. That's where we were. Had to redo our windows. And so I went through every single company known to man and then decided on Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And I have loved the experience. You might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella. And they are giving you another deal. 50% off qualifying installations, no money down, no interest, no payments for 12 full months. Give them a call at 615-249-1910. Schedule your free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville and check out that offer. Tell them Dawn sent you. That's PellaNashville.com.
So many people trust Two Rivers Ford. Football players, working moms, business owners. Why? Because Two Rivers Ford has been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
You ever wonder why so many pro athletes go and use stem cell therapy? Because it works. I'm Ron Slade, retired 14-year pro basketball player, and I needed to get this done. After I went through my entire career riddled with injuries, I needed therapy, so I went to Kellum Stem Cell Institute out in Franklin. Why? Because they're the stem cell specialists. They can be yours too. They're the stem cell specialists of the Tennessee Titans. You know why? Because it works.
Make an appointment today with Kellum Stem Cell Institute.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Babsy will be back tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
She's learning a lot about social media from her college football colleagues at ESPN. They bring everybody in. Everybody that has anything to do with college football at ESPN, they bring them in for a 2-day thing.
Don't you kind of think we ought to quiz her when she get back?
Quiz her? Like 10 questions?
Yeah, like you should have.
Short answers?
Yeah, you should have like the little music queued up, Zeph, like the little Jeopardy music.
Some kind of game show.
Yeah, some game show music. Yeah, and we're going to quiz her. And if whatever she get wrong.
Well, how are we going to know if she's wrong?
Oh, she can't hide it.
She can't hide it. Yeah,
She'll just tell you. I don't know.
Right, exactly.
Well, that too.
For everyone, good job. Everyone she get wrong, she got to drink a bottle of water. So if she gets 6 wrong, she got to drink 6 bottles of water.
You got 3 bottles of water sitting right there.
I'm about to drink one right now.
See this big smart water bottle?
Mm-hmm.
This is number 4.
Good for you.
Today. Is that good?
Yep.
Hydration chart?
I had a life water like that.
The sound of that.
That was impressive.
That's 2 because you already crushed one thinking it was Zeph.
Yep. That's right.
615-737-1045 at 3HL1045. Over 2.
Yeah. A little plastic don't fly like it should.
615-737-1045.
I said definitely need Babs to balance them out. No, we balance Babs out. We've been giving Babs too much credit.
Oh,
One thing
that
now.
happens when she's not here that doesn't typically happen when she is here is I will tease something for the next segment and then do it. But when she's not here, sometimes I forget.
Yeah.
So I have to write it down. Zeph reminded me.
This is true.
So what I teased was the coaches poll, preseason college football poll. So here it is, real quick. Top 10, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama. That's your top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss at 6, who I would put ahead of Alabama personally. I would put Ole Miss 3rd in the SEC.
That's right now. Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss. Oh, Georgia. Okay, I got you.
You can't forget about Georgia.
I apologize, yeah.
Yep. Ole Miss 6, Notre Dame 7. Like, since the beginning of my life, it feels like I know this is not true, but it feels like Notre Dame is in the preseason top 10 every year.
Yep. It seemed like they always let us down, too, at some point.
Are they letting you down?
Yeah, they let me down.
Because you want them to do well?
No, because I usually bet on them when they get me to believing.
They got that quarterback from Duke, Riley Leonard.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's good, too.
Yes, he is.
That dude could probably play basketball.
He played basketball.
there you go.
Yeah, very athletic.
He's long and rangy.
His homework.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
He what?
He didn't turn in his homework, but his offensive line did at Duke.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the backstory to that?
So his professor, he didn't. So they had a game, and it was like a late game. They actually ended up winning, and he didn't turn in his homework on time because his excuse was the game, but his entire offensive line did. And so his professor was like, "Yo, what's up? Why did they turn it in, not you?"
Wow.
He's like, "Sorry." He's like, "Sorry, professor." Had to give him
Oh, man. So they should have had his back. So if QB1 doesn't turn it in, none of them should turn it in. Or should they?
No, you can't leave your QB out. You're supposed to protect your QB anyway.
At all times. That's your job.
Yeah. Maybe they should have went and got his paper and turned it in for him. Or that?
I don't think there was a paper. It's a problem.
there was no homework.
Well, guess what?
It didn't exist.
He's supposed to look at,
my offensive line ate my homework.
Exactly. He's supposed to look at them and say, it's always a paper. Offensive line, ain't that right? And all of them in unison should say, yes, sir. That's right. That's right, Captain.
So because y'all did that, I'm transferring to Notre Dame.
I'm out of here.
See y'all.
Bet you ain't got to do no homework up there. Still play.
Michigan number 8, Penn State 9, Florida State 10.
Penn State 9. Do I have a problem with that? Yeah, but go ahead.
What's your problem with that?
They're gonna fluke and flop too.
Fluke and flop.
Yeah. I love
How much do you trust Drew Aller at quarterback?
How much do I trust James Franklin at quarterback? At coach.
You know what? Fair point.
Drew Aller plays really well sometimes.
Yeah, until it counts.
Key, sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Until James Franklin say, you know what? We're going to run the ball because we ain't putting it in your hands.
Number 11, Missouri. The Fighting Drinks.
I just think, man.
He's got his quarterback back, Brady Cook. Luther Burton Jr. is the Biletnikoff winner. If he doesn't get hurt, he is the Biletnikoff winner, number 1 wide receiver taken.
I just don't know if they understand how much they're going to miss that running back that did everything and never came off the field ever.
That guy was like a Mack truck.
Hey, man.
That could catch.
Dude, like it was like he didn't get tired.
No, and he pounded people.
Yes. Like, and he was like, I don't know if
he was searching out contact.
Yes. I don't know if they know what they're going to miss in him.
That's a good
so,
point. That's a good point.
I don't know. I ain't that high on Mizzou, but
I don't know.
now.
See, Bab's not here. This is where we like lose control of it. Right about 5:30.
Is it?
LSU 12. Replacing a lot.
Is the defense going to answer the bell?
My answer would be no.
You do have a game record over there.
One. But you had him last year when they sucked.
Sure did.
Hey.
Sure did. We know they're not going to be like them.
Utah, number 13.
The quarterback's back.
Yep.
Finally.
Yeah. We didn't know. Like he was iffy for the season opener last year. We hadn't seen him since.
Yeah.
We didn't see him then. Hadn't seen him since. I love how coaches do that crap, man.
Yep. That's right.
14, Clemson.
Bad rash.
There's like a rash going through the team?
No, them. They're like a bad rash right now.
Okay.
Can't
get rid of it?
Yeah, it's like, how do y'all keep showing up? Like, I'm doing everything the doctor telling me. I'm taking the medication. You know what I mean? You just keep popping back up.
What an analogy.
That's them.
Clemson is a rash.
That's them. That's them. Like, nobody really cares for you.
Are they a specific rash or just in general?
No, it's just like one on, like, it's one that, you know what I mean? It's always just pop out. Be on your thigh, then it'll be on your what's this? What's this right here?
Your inside gut.
What would you call a Clemson rash?
That's a Dabo.
Daboitis?
No, just a Dabo.
Dabo?
Daboitis.
Yeah. Like it's.
Slay likes to
Do y'all believe in them? Y'all believe in them?
No.
I think they're
But they play in the ACC. I think Miami's going to be better. I think Florida State's going to be good.
That's the saving grace.
Beyond that.
That's the saving grace.
You cannot deny the transfer portal like Dabo Swinney has the last couple of years and expect to succeed in college football, especially in a conference that has teams like Florida State and Miami who live off the transfer portal right now.
And they're being robbed of their talent in their state. When Tennessee is good, Tennessee's walking into South Carolina and getting players.
Remember back in the 90s, Dan Brooks went to South Carolina all day.
Wreck shop. That's what they're doing again.
Sean Ellis was from South Carolina.
That's what's happening again. So I'm not a believer, but okay, you hit it on the head. The saving grace is there in the ACC.
Number 15, Tennessee. Just outside the playoff, according to the coaches.
I gotta see. I want to move them up, but I'm cool right there because I got to see what that secondary look like.
Yep, that front seven is going to be.
Thank you, Babsy.
Babsy doesn't have any question about it.
No, she likes the balls.
Oklahoma 16, Kansas State 17, Oklahoma State 18, Miami, Florida 19, Texas A&M 20. So 9 SEC teams in the top 20.
It's tough.
9 of the 20.
It's tough.
Then Arizona, North Carolina State, USC, Kansas, and Iowa. Is Iowa going to score points this year?
How do you just keep sneaking them in there with defense? It's just a defensive team just going to stay right there.
Remember they used to chant punt? Best punter in America.
That's crazy, man.
Who's their quarterback now?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We
Somebody
probably
transferred there.
We'll
right?
get lucky.
Wasn't it Cade McNamara, or was that last year?
Cade McNamara's a basketball player, ain't he?
No, I'm pretty sure he's a quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, who knows if I know these people, man? We better off guessing the secondary, a cornerback for them before we get any offensive player right.
Yeah, it's Cade McNamara.
Yeah, you only know that because you played them, so.
What?
How you know them?
They played Tennessee in the bowl game.
Yeah, they played Tennessee in the bowl game.
What I said, you only know them because we played them.
But look, they scored 10 fewer points against Tennessee than they averaged all year.
Come on, dog.
And they scored 0.
I'll put James Madison right there, man.
By the way, James Pierce Jr. in that bowl game, jeez.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that.
Yeah, toting one hand interceptions into the end zone.
As a quarterback, you are fearful for your life with that dude running, and he gets to you in less than 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Right? But then one time he's like, hey, man, I'm going to drop back. I'm going to be where you going to throw it. Your first read.
Yeah.
Pick six.
Yeah.
I mean.
Out of here.
That guy.
And ain't nobody catching him.
That guy. All right, 615-737-1045.
So you cool with everybody over in the top 25? Above Tennessee, 15 and up? I mean, 3 head scratches for me.
I think Tennessee should be higher than that.
Okay.
Let's see. I got to pull it back up.
I'm questionable on Missouri. I'm questionable on Rash. And I'm questionable on Penn State.
And Utah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but I was willing
Utah
to ride
wins
with
games
them.
ugly.
And I was willing to ride with him last year on a quarterback just because he was coming back. So with him getting
if they have a quarterback, he might get hurt game 1 and be out for the rest of the season again this year. They haven't shown anything.
Oh, damn.
Not really. I mean, yeah, they win ugly games, but
they win them.
I think Tennessee's going to be really good on the offensive line. Like, back to the Vols, I think they're better than 15. I think people are coaches want to see more out of quarterbacks than one start.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see where the AP puts them, because I think writers and people that cover the sport are far more likely to project success than coaches. Coaches are always like, I want to see it first, you know. But Tennessee's offensive line, Lance Hurd coming over from LSU.
Yeah.
I think Jackson Lampley wins that left guard job. Okay. He played incredibly well in his start in a bowl game.
Okay.
Cooper Mays at center, Javonte Spraggins at right guard, John Campbell at right tackle. All that's set.
Yeah, that is it. Just need them healthy.
Dillon Sampson needs to stay healthy.
Cam Selden got to stay healthy.
And that's one, where are we with him? Because it almost feels like Josh Heupel saying the same things about him that he said about Cooper Mays last year in the offseason. And then Mays missed 5 games.
Right. Good thing is, either one of them that you can get back first, him or Peyton Lewis, you got something.
Peyton Lewis, I think, is going to be a stud.
Yeah.
He is a stud on EA Sports College Football. I know that.
Yeah.
Have you found that to be true? Peyton Lewis?
I have not played with Peyton Lewis yet.
All right, you're missing out.
Because I am my own running back.
Yeah, right.
Big
See what I'm saying? See?
Peyton Lewis ain't beating you out.
7-foot running back.
Nah, he's way past that, aren't you? Zeph had a 7-foot, 300 and whatever pound running back. You're way past that guy, aren't you? You play that game so much, there's no way that guy's still on your roster.
Do what? Sorry, hold up, Ian. Sorry, I was on the phone with Ian. trying to figure out the
No, you talk to Ian. You talk to Ian.
Yeah.
That's way more
We're
important.
just trying to bring in our foolishness.
Wide receiver room, Squirrel White.
Yeah.
Brew McCoy, that's another one. Now, I know he is getting frustrated by them moving him slowly along.
Yeah.
He wants more reps.
Understandable.
Chris Brazzell, that's a guy everybody's going to be talking about. I think he starts. Dante Thornton, Mike Matthews, another guy.
Yeah, them two right there. You got 5 bona fide guys that can get out there and play.
I think he's got a lot of Jalen Hyatt in him.
Yeah. And don't listen. When healthy, a problem was Deontay Thornton. He was a problem. He just got banged up. Caught a touchdown, he got hurt. He got hurt running for a touchdown too.
But yeah, his yards per catch is he gets down the field. 615-737-1045. We can talk Titans football as well. William in Clarksville. William, what's up, man? William.
Hey guys, just wanted to ask about Kearis Jackson and see kind of what y'all kind of thought he was going to place as. I know I was pretty high on him last year, leaving the preseason, even though he got hurt. And just kind of wanted to hear, y'all's opinion on him, see if he'd even, be a thought for the roster this year. So, yeah, I'll just hang up and listen.
Appreciate it, man. Honestly, in my opinion, he is who he is, Kearis Jackson, who we left off being as well.
I loved him in the preseason last year, too.
I did, too. It's
undrafted guy.
So deep.
It's so deep. His way onto the roster is kick return.
Yeah.
So we talked about this yesterday. Pay attention to who the kick return and the punt return are. I mean, do you go Spears at kick returner? Or is that too much to put on like your primary running back?
I mean,
which I think you'll end up being.
Man, that's a tough one, Yoram, because I want the explosiveness right there. But you got other guys that should be able to do it as well. So I just think that when you talk about the receiver spot, Kyle Phillips is jumping out again. Mason Kinsey is consistent. You know the top 5 anyway. You know what I mean? The top 3 then.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley,
Burks.
Tyler Boyd, Traylon Burks, Nick Westbrook, Akine. There's your 5. Then you've got
5.
Kyle Phillips, Garris Jackson, Mason Kinsey.
Yep. And Jaquan Jackson.
And Jaquan Jackson, who's a draft pick.
Yeah, like you got – man, it's tough right there, man. It's tough.
The Bengals usually keep 6 is what I remember coming out of training camp.
And what do you get, 13 on practice squad? 17,
Yeah.
13, something like that.
So we'll see. That's going to be one of the more interesting things on
That
Saturday is to watch and see how they treat kick returns and punt returns and see what's going on there.
Yep. I don't see a lot of times as far as what it looks like with his opportunities. He's not dropping it. So, I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Wide receiver doesn't drop it. That's awesome.
Hey, man. Listen. I'm trying to pull the good out of things, man. Sometimes it's hard to see, yo.
Sometimes I just stop you in your tracks instead of let it go. Like, I think a lot of people, unlike my personality type, would have just let that go. But I got to mess with you. So, also, there was a lot of talk about Traylon Burks. He made a one-handed catch going down the sideline on a fade route, came down awkwardly, was shaken up, and was limping noticeably. But and so, like, that tweet got out from Teron Davenport in the moment. And then I think a lot of people didn't see what his follow-up tweet was.
Yeah.
And what we all saw was that he walked it off and was fine. I walked right past him after practice and he said, "What's up?" And he was fine.
Yeah. It did.
So
everybody did gasp when they saw him go down.
I know. I was standing between you and your brother.
Yeah, like not Burks.
And you were trying to play it down.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I
was like, Slay, where is he?
Yeah,
where is he?
No
Slay? You're like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You started talking about other things.
Yeah. Because I was trying to keep a peripheral on him to see, like, is he walking to his locker room and he just,
He never went to the locker room.
Nah, he just went over.
That's a good indicator right there. Yeah. All right, more 3HL when we come back. More Titans talk. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Quandre Diggs. We'll get into him next on 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, people? Code Generators with Generator Dave is who you need to lean into when you're trying to get a Generac automatic standby generator of any brand or that brand because they work on any kind. You can't go wrong with them, man. We got deals for you. When I say we, me, and Code Generators, and you got to mention me, Babsy, 3HL, whatever it may be, you can get the deal. What's that deal? A special offer for plus $500 off when you mention us. Can you beat that? No. All the way through the end of August. You got to understand, too, financing is now available, so it's way more affordable than you think. Certain terms and conditions apply. All you got to do is just hit them up, Generator Dave, let them know what you're trying to do, and visit covegenerators.com, and you'll never lose power again. Don't wait till the fall, which we're about to roll into right now. Get on it now because everybody's going to be calling. You get the early bird specials. Give them a call at 931-559-3311, 931-559-3311, covegenerators.com. Stay connected through it all.
Man, the conversation we just had in the break. It's funny what you give him hell for.
I got to keep an eye on Zeph, man. Zeph get the roaming out here.
I just asked Zeph, I said, does Chase Budinger play on this volleyball team, like the one inside the arena, or beach volleyball? And Zeph goes, I don't know who Chase Budinger is, which says lay off. How are you going to know who the damn Iowa quarterback is and you don't know who Chase Budinger is?
Don't nobody know who the Iowa quarterback is except you. You're the only person to know.
I don't even think Iowa fans know who the Iowa quarterback is.
Exactly, because he never threw it.
To be fair, though, they were only on the field for 3 plays at a time.
I mean, it's true.
I'm sorry.
Probably
the Beathard family is going to get us.
Not me. I don't care. Who was the Beathard?
Oh, man.
CJ Beathard.
CJ Beathard, Casey Beathard.
Oh, yeah, I do know that.
All those guys.
Bad.
Sorry, my football knowledge is vastly outweighs my basketball knowledge.
Yeah, but come on, Zeph. Not Iowa quarterback. Anybody put him.
Hey, Zeph, who's the Northwestern quarterback?
It's Mike Wright.
There you go. Good job. If you didn't know him, boy, I was done with you. I was done with you for the week if you didn't know that.
How about Colorado State, Zeph?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that. Is it? It's not JT Shrout. No, he transferred away from Colorado. Did he go to Colorado State?
No, Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado State.
No, he went to Colorado, but I think he went to Colorado State after, I think. I could be wrong about that.
He got lost.
I don't know. He got lost in the transfer portal.
It went to the wrong school.
He got behind Dillon.
It's like, I didn't need to come here, but while I'm here.
Y'all got a spot?
Here, I'll play a year here and then go where I was supposed to go.
Yeah. It's wide open.
It's like when you put in a new address in Waze, it's like new destination.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going to stay here for a second.
Go to new stop.
And then we'll do it. Quandre Diggs was at camp today, his first day. And as I said, walking by after practice, Rhett Bryan said, man, that guy's got a GPS to the football.
Yes, he does.
And you can tell very easily. What went on in terms of him coming to the Titans?
It's been a process. It's been a couple month process of, dialogue, every week. Rand, Denard, my agent, myself. It's been a process, but it was definitely the best place for me, in the fact of just knowing, the caliber of Coach Denard is, you hear it around the league, you see it. Obviously, I got friends that he's coached that spoke highly of him, so it's just one of those things where it worked out, and he really wanted me here, and I wanted to be here also.
What are some of the things that he noticed about the Titans before he signed?
When we played you guys, when I was in Seattle last year, we played. It was a tough game. Came down to the end of the game, and some very good players over there that they were missing. So the fight of the team, they fought hard, they played well, and obviously it worked out in Seattle's favor when I was there. But you kind of keep that in the back of your mind when you hear from these teams, of who they got. And Will didn't play last year against us, but he's back, and some of the games that he played last year, they were very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Quandre Diggs talking about what the Titans are getting from him at this stage of his career. He's 31 years old.
There's no stage in my career. I'm 31. People act like you get to 30, you can't play dead. I play well. I do all the things that you need me to do. I go get the football. I've been very consistent in that. Top 10 in the last however many years, top 5, in the last however many years. So I go get the football, And, I want to be physical. I want to tackle. I want to do those things. But I also want to, help guys learn the game, very cerebral in what I do. And, I take this serious. It's my job. And, when I'm dialed in, when I'm ready to go, it's go time.
This is a good one right here. Does he have a chip on his shoulder after seeing where he landed in the safety market? Check it.
For me, bro, I tell everybody this, bro. I was 6th round, pick 200. So I always had a chip on my shoulder. I've always felt that the things that I do, nobody expected me to do. But I expected that out of myself. So for me, I saw all this stuff. You tear the deal up, man. Cool, you release me. But for me, it was never no rush, Like I said, I'm 31, I'm going to year 10, bro. I got a family. I'm building a house in Texas. You know, I play golf. I do all these different things. So for me, never was no rush from my standpoint. I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to run. I'm going to do all my stuff. So for me, it never was, you know, any of that. But, you know, definitely still, it ticked me off a little bit. But at the same time, I've been blessed, bro. This is my 4th contract. So I'm good.
That's a mouthful right there.
Love it. Had a chip on his shoulder since pick 200. I had a chance to ask Amani Hooker how the addition of Diggs is going to help him as a player.
How's the addition of Diggs helping you as a player in terms of what you do?
It helps me. This is knowledge of the game because I'm able to, learn some things from him because he has different perspective on things. He had things come up in his career on how he handled it, and he's able to, share those experiences with me, and that's just going to allow me to, pick apart his brain and allow me to make some plays.
Mm-hmm. It's also going to allow him to, as we talked with Coach Mack about, move up closer to the line of scrimmage, be more in the box, be more physical, be more active, all those things, because Diggs is a rangy center fielder that can also hit. I don't want to leave that out there.
Please.
With a chip on his shoulder. Babsy is back tomorrow.
Come on back, Babsy.
Arian Carter from Tennessee, linebacker.
Had a great year last year. Thrust into the fire and lived up to it.
Handled it, and then season ended early, and he's ready to go. He just Al Wilson was just up there talking to linebackers.
Yeah.
He dropped some weight, too, to get faster.
Okay.
Because they want the defense to be faster. So
with that.
We'll ask him about all those things. Also, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster, Greg Cosell will join us.
Sound good.
Going to be fun. And Babsy's back, as I mentioned. All right, appreciate y'all, including us in your day. We do not take that for granted. You have a lot of choices, and we appreciate you choosing us. Good night. God bless.
See you. Wouldn't want to be unless you're Tajay Spears or Traylon Burks or Calvin Ridley with that speed. Sheesh.
Man.